then I probably give you about $100. I ain't talking about money, I'm talking about legs. I put the double barrel straight to your head. You better stand up, be a man, boy. Look to the sky, pray the Lord saves you. When we roll up, all you gonna hear is that rat-a-tat-tat. Click, clang, boom, and we ain't gonna graze you. We ain't gonna graze you. They say we're too old. They say we're too slow. They say that we can't even spit no flow. But you already know that our flow is cold and our trigger finger is good as gold. They say we're too old. They say we're too slow. They say that we can't even spit no flow. But you already know that our flow is cold and our trigger finger is good as gold.
Triple T, Louisiana, Big G from Tennessee, Triple T, Louisiana, Big D from Tennessee.
Yeah, this is Triple T, my boy Big D. If you haters want to come back, you can try. But that'd be your ass, Mr. Postman. Remember, you rather get up in that phone booth with that Bobcat to mess with us. I can promise you that. What it is, what it was, what it will be. What up, Dogpound? It's Triple T. I'm back again with another special live stream. It's Friday night. You know what they say. Just got paid. Anyway, I got a special guest coming up tonight. It's been a long time since I sat down and chopped it up with him. He's known his family around in these part of the woods. I've been knowing him now for a little over 2 years. I've interviewed him quite a few times. And in my opinion, he's one of the dopest rappers in the independent game in the Midwest. And he goes by none other than Knuckles. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend, from the great state of Oklahoma, Mr. Knuckles.
Yeah.
What up?
Hey, man. You know, in Oklahoma, we consider Oklahoma the South, right? You know, everybody else considers us the Midwest, but no. Well, I said we consider, like, it's funny. If you ask someone if Oklahoma is the South, a lot of people say it's part of the Midwest. But if you ask people in Oklahoma, we'll say we're part of the South. It's funny how that works.
Yeah, because it's right.
Realistically, we weren't even a state or anything.
So, if my memory serves me correct, it's right above Texas and below Kansas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. In my city where I live is literally 20 minutes from the Texas border. So I spent a lot of time growing up in Texas. Houston, Dallas.
I did a lot of funeral details in Oklahoma when I was stationed at Fort Riley.
Okay. I had, you know, the funeral detail for my dad's funeral was an amazing group of guys. You know, like they were really good with my mama. You know, they were extremely professional. I got a chance to talk to them outside a little bit before they got back in their van and took off. You know, I took.
Now, your dad was a sergeant major, right?
My dad was sergeant major. Yeah, 27 years in Army.
He was also a drill sergeant, artillery.
He was drill sergeant. Yep, two drill sergeant status tours, or I don't know what it's called.
Where did you do his combat time at?
So he did a lot of like small missions in a lot of places, but I don't honestly know. He did a lot of his tours in Korea. You know, he was on the DMZ border. Like he fired.
Did you ever go to Nam?
He didn't go to Nam. He joined during the Nam era as Nam was ending, so he didn't actually go to Nam. Okay. And he was activated for Desert Storm, Desert Shield, but at that time he was in the schoolhouse. He worked in like Enoch Beanoch, and he didn't go over there because he was training all the guys who were going over there. By that time, he was senior NCO. So all of his combat stuff was on small missions for like SF stuff that he did and things like that early. So I don't know a lot about my dad's career. I went through a lot of his stuff after he passed. My mom had me come out there and help her burn all that stuff because sadly, like, you'll know this, like all the military paperwork, all your shit's got your social on it, you know? So like mom wanted to get rid of everything. So we just went to the burn barrel out, you know, live out in the country and just burned all that shit. But like me going through and seeing all that stuff, you know, it was like going back over my whole career.
I can help you retain all that if you want it.
Well, I know there's some ways we can pull some information from things, right?
I'll talk to you offline.
Digitally? Okay. Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. So, you know, that's why I gravitated towards you. I think after, because I think I had sent you a couple of songs because I saw you doing reactions to some of my buddy's songs, you know, people like Jesse, Joe, Big Poe, people like that, you know. And I was like, hey, man, do a reaction to mine. But I think it was when I sent you Army Brat, actually, that you reached back out to me and was like, hey, man, check it out. I checked this song out and I went and checked out some of your other stuff, you know. And then after that, we started talking. We became friends, you know. And the rest is history, of course. But it was your military service, and it was my love for the military, you know, that gave
Hitman says, put a shirt on a little.
Look at this little guy, man. Get some shoes on.
What up, Hitman?
Little hobby guy. I love this guy, man. That's my guy right there. So speaking of dads, me and Hitman got an amazing song we wrote for our dads. He helped me make another song for my dad. You know, it's called Drinking for Two. So shout out to Hitman from Outlaw Nation, man. That's my guy. I love him.
He is very, very talented. He's an amazing songwriter.
Extremely.
One of the best spitters in the Outlaw Nation. A lot of people sleep on him, but man, he's cold with the lyrics. I'll say that.
He's super talented at whatever he wants to do. Yeah. Yeah, him and my buddy Dylan Hanley have an album together. I'm sure you heard it. And man, that's like one of my favorite albums total. Like I bang the whole thing from front to end. The rapping on it is ridiculous. Like I love both of them individually. So like it was cool to connect them together and get that album made.
Hey, so the last Hampshire event, they were celebrating Hide the Weed because it just hit 1 million, right?
Yeah.
So normally at Outlaw Nation event in Hampshire, they have, you know, the very long trailer for the stage.
Okay.
But this particular event, they didn't have it in stock, so they sent them a shorter stage, but the back would open up, so it was wider,
cool. Okay,
but smaller. Thank God that they didn't have the regular stage, because if so, your boy right here would be unemployed, because I'm up on stage always filming, right? So Hitman was standing right beside me. They handed him it had to be about 18 inches, right? He lights that joker up. And even though the back was open, man, I had to put a bandana over my face. I said, man, if I fail my piss test on Monday, I'm fighting somebody. Good Lord, that thing was smoked up.
Hey, man, yeah, the last event I did with him was to smoke out in the woods, and the whole event was just big smoke, and it was so much. I think we hit 10 million right around the last event we did together. I think it's over 10 million now, right? Yeah.
Shout out to little Jeffrey. Appreciate the $5 super chat.
Hey, super chat in the building, man. That's what's up.
We got quite a few artists in the chat.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, Obsolete. How you doing? Me and Obsolete got a song coming soon. He's a good guy. We've done some shows together.
We got MTP up in here. Menace. That's a dope rapper right there. I don't know if you ever checked him out. Menace.
I haven't. Wait, Menace of Organic Bandits?
No, Menace from
Menacing Threat Productions. Okay, I see.
So there's 4 people part of it.
Okay.
You got Menace, you got KSN, which is his little brother. Both Menace and KSN are veterans. Damir the Dragon's a veteran, and then they have Drizzle, who's not a veteran. But I'm gonna tell you, anybody who puts a diss track against that guy, man, they might as well cancel the career, because he is cold on the mic. That dude is sick.
That's funny. Yo, he said I got the Slim Fast beer mug. Yo, you better tell him this is from Germany.
That's a heavy.
That's a real beer mug. If you don't know, I got these from my dad after he passed. Like, that's what I drink my beer out of. This is literally from Germany.
So, what have you been up to?
Oh man, okay. Hitman said 9.2 million. Man, sorry, I thought it was close to 10. So what have I been up to? Honestly, man, for the last couple of months, I've just been kind of at home doing the dad thing. You know, I got a lot of kids. I've been taking care of them. My wife is just finishing law school. Just started working as an indigent defense attorney for the state of Oklahoma. She's going to take the bar in February. So she's extremely busy. And I've just been doing my best to support her, you know, as she starts her career, just because she's supported the crap out of me for a while, as I've done a lot of stupid stuff, like travel around the country and make rap music, you know. So I've mostly been doing that. But I've got a lot of music coming in the works. I got some shows coming up. As a matter of fact, since we're here, I'll tell you what I got coming next. Next Friday is Veterans Day. And I'm doing a local show. I partnered with a buddy of mine who is a comedian, And we got our local historic theater here in town to give us the venue. They donated the venue. I'm bringing all the equipment. I'm going to host the show and I'm going to do music. And we've got like 7 or 8 comedians that are doing the show. We're all donating our time. The show's $20 and we're donating 100% of the profits to the American Legion for disabled vets.
Hell so yeah, that's what's up.
Doing a Veterans Day show for veterans on, so going to be cool. Should be a really good time. A lot of people have already told me they're coming. You know, it's a really good thing. So I hope a lot of people show up. Again, we're an Army-based town here where I'm at. You know, so when people say, you know, we want to support the veterans, that's like basically the whole town has somebody here that's a vet in some way, shape, form, or fashion. You know, so I expect
shout out to the soldiers in Fort Sill.
Yeah, absolutely. Fort Sill, you know, home of the artillery. You know,
yeah,
biggest artillery base in the world.
And I know it gets loud there, especially around gunnery time.
Oh yeah, it's funny because we have, you know, one of the like Facebook groups for the town. Whenever somebody new moves here and they make the post, it's like, oh my gosh, what are those loud booms? Has anybody heard that? Is it the end of the world? And then somebody always comment and be like, that's the sound of freedom, baby. You know,
hey, it was like when we were stationed at Fort Riley. So, you know, you always have that military town right outside of base.
Of course. Yeah.
And so Fort Riley is very tank and artillery heavy.
Okay.
And so every month there's some type of gunnery going on.
Oh yeah.
Because you got 2 artillery battalions, you got 2 tank battalions, and then you got 2 brigades. So you got 2 tanks and 2 artillery per brigade. So you're looking at a total of 4 artilleries and 4 tank battalions, right?
Constant booms.
Constantly.
Big thunder.
So, you know, someone's always in rotation out of NPRC, which is literally like 12 miles outside of the installation. Don't matter where you live at, your windows are going to rattle.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you got those 120s going off and the 155s, oh, yeah, it shakes, rattles, and rolls.
Yeah, pictures shake. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's
and it took a while for my wife and kids to get used to it. But after a while, it's like second nature.
Yeah, I don't even think about it as someone who grew up here. You know, like I grew up with it. I don't even think about it. But until someone brings it up and then I laugh at it, I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot. Those people aren't used to bombs going off all the time.
Yeah. You're just like, okay. It's the second nature.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It'd be almost like, I guess, kind of living like in Oklahoma and Texas and Kansas, Tornado Alley. You're constantly hearing the sirens going off for tornadoes.
Oh, yeah. We go outside and look when you hear the sirens go off. Everybody goes on the front porch and looks. Yeah. Like, we don't hide from tornadoes. We go outside and look at them. Like, it is what it is, you know? We can die at a tornado at any time. And we know that. So it's not scary, you know?
All right. So your wife's getting ready to graduate law school, correct?
Yes. Yes. My wife is about to graduate law school. She's in her last semester. She has like 6 weeks left or something. And then she's done. And she's already done her graduation walk with her class, but she had like 2 classes she had to finish. So she took this last semester to finish those. And then February she takes the bar. So and I've looked at some of the questions. It's hard.
I will say this.
No, she said 4 weeks.
The first time that I interviewed you, I asked you, are you gonna ever go on tour? And you're like, nah, I just stay locally. And the last 18 months, you actually gone out.
Yeah, I've been going.
Got on the road. So what has that experience been like for you?
So it's made all the difference. Honestly, like, you know, because I've gone viral several times and I've had a few songs that have blown up. You know, I have a couple million streams and all that. You know, I've made a little bit of money in this and that, so I can charge a little bit of money for shows. But actually getting out there and doing it and getting those shows all lined up, and you know, at one point I did 10 states in 14 days, man, and I was tired. But it was good, like, and meeting the people. And when you shake someone's hand, then they want to buy a t-shirt. Then they want to tell other people about your music. Then they want to, you know, like, there's no replacement. It doesn't matter how viral you go or what blows up on the internet. There's no replacement for when you get to meet someone face to face and shake their hand and drink a beer with them or something, and take pictures with them and then meet them in a real life way, it's totally different. It's totally different.
I told you that you would enjoy it.
Well, but at the same time too, I don't like being away from my family, and I don't like,
I know.
And I since I've started doing it in the last couple of years, I've really explained to everybody, like, people think being a rock star is glamorous, and I'm like, man, it's really just driving a lot and stopping at gas stations to buy hot dogs. Like, it's like there's like that 2 hours of the show where it's good and everybody's rocking, and then that's it. You know what I mean? Then you drink a couple of beers and go to sleep. And the next thing you know, you got to be in the car again for an 8-hour drive. Like, it is not fabulous.
Oh yeah, so I took the tour bus with New Breed up to the Ohio show in June. And my first time ever being on a tour bus. And I'm like, all right, this is going to be cool. Yeah, never again.
Yeah, it's not cool. It's not glamorous. I always explain that to everybody.
No, not whatsoever.
Hitman's being racist in the comments. I can't take this guy nowhere. Golly, Hitman. I love this guy.
He said, I gotta ask an infamous question. What is your biggest flaw as an artist, and what are you doing to actively correct it?
All right, so
that's a good question.
That's an extremely good question. My biggest flaw as an artist is that I'm a procrastinator when it comes to recording and putting out music. I am very business minded with a lot of things, but I will put on the back burner, like, I have I'm going to do some music this weekend because I haven't had time lately, but I'll write a whole song and then not record it for 2 months. And just have the melody in my head, have the whole thing, it's written, it's ready, I've got a beat, I just won't record it for 2 months. Or I'll record it, then I won't go and see my producer and get it mixed and mastered for 2 months because I'm too busy, and I just keep putting it out. And I'm like, well, I got plenty of music out. I don't need to put music out. I don't need to put music out. Like, that's my biggest flaw, is that I'm constantly thinking about music and I'm not doing it as much as I should. I do a lot of the business side of things where I'm constantly promoting my old music. I'm constantly posting and interacting and touring, but sometimes I don't do the creative side like I should. And I feel like in the industry that we're in these days, man, you got to put out a song at least once a month almost to be relevant. Like, it's a sad truth, but these days it's about quantity of consumption. It's not even about quality anymore, like, it's just a sad thing, but there's so many people putting out stuff. You got to compete with them, and that makes a big deal. Like I would say that's my biggest flaw. So I'm trying to work on that by being consistent and actually making sure I put out music on a regular basis, not just trying to promote my old stuff, so. Tim's getting information off stage.
Yeah. My wife's telling me something.
Yeah.
He said, Minister, yeah, people just want more.
I see people said, pay attention. My wife said, pay attention to us over here. What's happening? Vance said, my biggest flaw is I don't answer my messages. I was talking to Tim about that right before we came live on the show. And I was like, man, I got like 3 or 4 accounts. I'm not even logged into all my messaging stuff. I was like, it takes me a couple of days even to see it sometimes. I was like, but if people have my phone number, I was like, and they text me, I'm right back on it, so.
Yeah, shout out to Eddie Robinson in the chat. We were just talking about you too, Eddie.
What up, Eddie? My guy was talking about you right before we went live. Yeah,
we sure was.
We was.
How you feeling? I hope you're doing better since the last time I seen you, because last time I seen you, I was feeding you crackers in the car before you went to the hospital.
He seems to be in good spirits now. I got faith.
The funny thing about Eddie Robinson, I interviewed him at the Ohio show.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, it's going to sound kind of crazy to you, but I said, I hear like a go-go beat vibe when I hear you play the drums. And he kind of cocked his head and he's like, go-go? What do you know about go-go? That's what I grew up on from the DMV, DC, Virginia, Maryland area.
Yeah.
He's like, that's what I grew up on. And man, we just started like talking about a lot of the go-go bands back in the day. And he explained to me why they called him ER. And it's a funny story. If you ever get a chance to sit down and ask him.
I've never asked him. I'm going to now.
Oh, yeah.
You know, my thing about Eddie is that there's just certain people that have music inside their soul, you know? Certain people who can make beats and can just create beautiful music, you know, like just like on the drums, on the computer, on the keyboard.
I'm a firm believer. If you cut Eddie Robinson's wrist, instead of blood coming out,
he'll be music. Yeah.
Be music notes just popping out.
And that's how I feel about him too. You know, from the time, you know, he's made a couple of songs for me. We've done a couple, you know, back like, man, it's been literally, this is 2013. So almost 8 years ago, he made some music for me. And I thought he was extremely talented back then. And all he's done is grow in talent since, you know, so it's amazing. Some of the people that I'm surrounded by, the talent that they got, you know, like I'm blown away. I love the fact that I'm a fan of all my friends, like, you know, all the people that I'm around musically. I'm huge fans of their music, you know, and that's super cool, you know. Ain't nothing like being backstage at a show that you love, you know.
Yes. That's like your boy Dirty. I call him the modern day Elvis Presley. He is the most energetic person you will ever see on stage.
Yeah, man, he's good. Yo, I'll tell you a story. So the last show I did with Hitman and Dirty at the Smoke Out in the Woods, about I guess it was a little more than halfway through the night, because the only people that were left were Hitman and Dirty to do their sets. And it started raining for like 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half. Man, everybody ran back to their tents and to their RVs and stuff. And then about an hour and a half later, somebody came up. Yo, that's dope, Eddie. I appreciate you. Somebody came up and was like, let's do it. We're all going to go back out, right? And I was like, all right, let's do it. So we ran back out. I set all my, because I had my equipment at the show. I was running the show. Got everything set back up, right? Man, Dirty and Hitman, I swear every single person at this event came back out of their campers. Middle of the night, it's been raining for 2 hours. Everybody grabbed their lawn chairs. Everybody came back outside. And both of them boys captivated the crowd. Like they captivated the crowd. On the last two songs, man, all my equipment was wet. I had lost some lights. Some lights died. Like the last two songs, my router died that I used to control my mixer, connect my iPad and stuff. So all the music was dead. We literally ran the last two songs just plugging in my stereo stuff to someone's phone and ran the last two songs to make it work, because my router got wet and died that night. Like I lost a whole bunch of pieces of equipment from that show. But man, their live energy in a crowd. If you've never been to an Outlaw Nation show, like the whole crew's got it. You know what I mean? Like they have that energy that you want to be in the crowd and be a part of. You want to feel that shit. Like they really have that, you know, not everybody that's a rapper or a singer or a musician, not everybody's an entertainer. Not everybody can captivate someone, you know, but they totally do. What's up, baby?
You owe Vance a bunch of shots.
I owe Vance a bunch of shots. Why am I doing shots?
Because he sent you a bunch of stars.
Why?
Because he likes you.
I can't see.
know.
Okay, I'm on StreamYard.
So shout him out.
My wife just brought me a jar of moonshine. It said that somebody's been donating stars. Because right before we went live, I shared all this through StreamYard too. So it's all this whole thing is live streaming on all my channels as well. And I guess people have been donating over on my stuff, but I can't see it. And normally when people donate to me, I always take shots for them. So she just came down and was like, yo, you owe somebody a bunch of shots. And I was like, I'm not ready for that. That's not where I'm at.
Hitman said, quit pumping up Dirty Boy's head.
Hey, man, I was pumping up yours too, bro. Like I said, I'm a fan of my friends, and I don't have a problem giving all my people flowers, you know, so... Speaking of, so the show that Eddie's talking about, he's going to be at in Tulsa.
Oh, damn.
What'd he say?
He putting you on blast. He said Knuckles is the only person I know I can see eat a handful of shrooms and still be professional.
Man, so let me tell you, I ate so at that shit, what happened was Friday night, right? I got these mushroom edibles. They make them, you know, whatever. I had taken some last year at the same place. Like, I'll never do. I'm cool with psychedelics, so I think they're okay. But I just don't have time for them in my life, right? But I'm out in the woods. I'm at this thing. So I had taken some chocolate mushroom bars or whatever the year before. So same guy this year, right? So I take some, everything's fine, but I only took half, but I don't really feel anything. So I decided to take the other half, and that was too much. And then I ended up having an existential, crisis in my trailer in the middle of the night. Like I lost my grill, but I had just taken it out, and then I lost it, like, in my mind. I had to wake my drummer up to be like, bro, help me find my grill. And he's like, bro, it's in your hat probably. And like, I looked at my hat, it was just in my hat, but I had had to have my wife on the phone FaceTiming me for like an hour, talking to me through life. Like it was bad. I just didn't expect it. But he's right, because like I kept the whole shit going. Like like I said, this was a Friday night, and we did a show Friday and Saturday, so like I had took a little bit, and I run the whole show, and then I take a little bit about halfway through the show, and by the end of the show, it was too much. I shouldn't have done it. I mean, I should have. It was a great experience. I had some conversations with God and whatnot, But Eddie's right. I definitely. So I have a thing. To me, being a rapper is my job. This is my career. Right. So everywhere I go, I'm professional. Like, I have rules even when I do shows. Like, I don't take shots before a show, and I don't eat any edibles before a show, because I've had 2 bad shows. And one was because the main headliner of the show, I was also hosting it, and I kept pushing his merch table and this and that. And he was like, his name's Scum, and he's a Russian guy. He's a horrorcore artist. He's a real big artist, though. And he was like, brother, I love you. He's like, what are you drinking? And I was like, I don't know, man. I like Goldschlager. Well, he had the wrist bracelet to let him get free drinks. Every time I turned around, this man was handing me a shot of Goldschlager, to the point that when I performed, I was forgetting lyrics, my own lyrics and shit. Like, I was like, so never again. I'll never take shots. Like, I'll drink a couple of beers before I go on stage, but I will not take shots. And then another time I ate a bunch of edibles before I went on stage, and I was so cotton mouthed that I could barely rap. Like, it was horrifying. And I look at it like, yo, people have paid good money to come see me do my music. I want to give them the best of myself. And I can't do that if I'm all drugged out and drunk. And so I don't do it. I just don't. I'm professional. Now, afterwards, you want to buy me a shot? Let's do it. We get trashed. We'll throw up in the parking lot together. But before my performance, no. Because I consider myself a professional at this point. Like, people are willing to part with their hard-earned money to come see me do something as silly as rap. Like it's crazy how that works.
Man said you're gonna be
dancing
like Austin Martin.
Yo, so Austin was at that show too. Now listen, Austin's my guy. I've known Austin for a long time. OT Overtime's my guy. So I've known him for a long time. But this was the first time I met Austin in real life, and I was like, man, this guy is literally textbook Nashville pop star. Like, he had the vibe when he hit the stage. Like, bro was hitting the dance moves. I was like, oh, he's doing his thing. I wasn't mad. I was happy to see it. It was not necessarily my vibe, but it's his thing, and he owned it, bro. Like, that's hilarious, because he really was. Austin Martin was dancing. Whoa, man. I'm telling you. Justin said, why can't I see Eddie's comments? Justin, you're on YouTube, and Eddie's on Facebook, and we're on StreamYard, so we can see both of them.
Yeah, so we got people on Facebook.
Yeah.
We got people on the Dogpound channel, and we got people on
my
Knuckles,
channel. Yeah, because I'm streaming
Knuckles YouTube channel.
Yeah. But we can see it all on our back end here.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Just I don't know how to fix. I mean, oh no, wait. Eddie's actually on YouTube.
He's on your channel.
Oh, he's on my channel. Oh, Eddie's on my channel. That's what it is. I can see the link thing now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's the only one over there.
Hey, shout out to technology. Like, think about this. Like, you guys are all over the world. We're streaming a literal television quality stream right now. Uh-huh. Cameras are quality, microphones quality. We couldn't have did this 8 years ago. Technology's come a long way.
Harley, I did not say anything about my back end. Knuckles said we could see it on the back end. I didn't say that. Knuckles said that.
Hey, hold on now. I didn't mean like that. You guys are taking things and twisting it.
She's trying to throw shade already.
All right, I'm taking all these shots for Vance because I owe him. Man, Vance is an absolute. So I hate calling people fans. I always just say my internet homies, you know. But there's certain people who are more than fans, they're supporters. And I don't mind calling someone a supporter. And Vance is absolutely a supporter of mine. He's driven all the way from Texas to Oklahoma to come to shows. He's donated so much money and stars to me, you know, like I mean, he's just someone who over time has become a friend even, you know, like that's how that
family.
works.
He's
Yeah, it's family. You know, that's why I say, like, I was always like, man, these are my internet homies. I don't like to say fans. I don't like to say followers. I don't like to, like, hey, you're in California. We never met, but you comment on my shit every day. I see that your baby's not feeling good. I'm praying for your baby. I hope your baby feels good. You know what I mean? And I truly mean that shit when I say something like that. Like, I'll stop and pray for random people or send my energy and thoughts to them. Like, because y'all are doing it for me from far away. And I don't really know y'all. Y'all are just doing it for me because you think I'm cool. So I want to do it back, you know?
Most definitely.
Absolutely.
Yo, shout out to Trainwreck Kenny who just
Yo, Trainwreck Kenny was at the
Trainwreck?
show too. That same show in Missouri, yo, that show was lit. Shout out to Trainwreck Kenny. He killed the stage that time too. Trainwreck Kenny is as a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead. You know how I just said that my biggest thing is that I'm a slacker.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that might be Trainwreck Kenny's thing too, because he was supposed to send me a beat for me to get on to give him a feature a while ago. And I even like commented on his page, and his girl said she was going to remind him, and he still ain't sent me nothing. So I swear he just must be a slacker like me.
Well, I will say this, Trainwreck. New Breed sent me the track that you were on with him and Jesse, and you killed your verse on that song.
He's super talented.
Yes.
Yeah, Trainwreck Kenny's super talented. Everyone around me is super talented. Like I don't have a problem telling somebody they suck because I hope maybe it'll encourage them to get better. I won't tell them in a hurtful way. I'll tell them by the fact that I've been rapping since I was 12 and I sucked when I first started. You know what I mean? Like this isn't an overnight thing. This is 10,000 hours of practice. Like everybody can get good at something if they try hard. Kenny said, I got you, bro. I swear.
He's very, very talented.
Yeah, super talented. That's why I told him, yo, for all my people, like, I only have a feature price to discourage people who aren't really serious. But anyone who's really serious about music, I don't even charge. Yeah, let's just make some music and get it out there. I know your people are going to see it. I know my people are going to see it. It's worth it to me. You know, like, you know, it is what it is. Man, there's a lot of stuff moving. My wife said, wives run the show. Well, didn't you see Triple T's wife come in a minute ago and run the show too? Every real man, behind every real man is a good woman. That's real.
Most definitely.
Okay, let me back up and tell you what's coming next because Eddie brought it up. He said he's going to be at my show in Tulsa. I'm going to plug this right now. So January 13th at the Shrine in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's going to be a bunch of artists: Obsolete, myself, the Hicks, Kingery, Rich Regal, Larry Del Reed, Who the Fuck is Just in Time, and Little White. And it's going to be a fantastic show. So if you're in the area, I'll have tickets in the next week or so to be selling. Get with me, whatever. So it's going to be a dope show. I'm excited for this Little White, Who the Fuck is Just in Time album to drop. I think it's going to be very, very dope. I know the Joe and Jesse song, Justin is my buddy. We talk all the time. He sent it to me before he actually announced it on Facebook. And I was like, wow, this track is fire. You know, I just couldn't stop listening to it. I was right away hooked. It was one of those songs like I had to listen to it till I wore it out. You know what I mean? I don't know if you do that with music, but my wife hates me for that because I find a song, then I'll listen to that bitch for 2 days straight until I hate it. You know, and that was one of those songs. Like I did it.
I remember when I first introduced you to Just in Time. I was in.
Yeah, that on your show was one of the first like face-to-face meetings that we had, as a matter of fact. And now, man, we're buddies. Like, my wife is swam topless in his pool.
Yeah,
that's how good of friends we are. So, man, I love him because a lot of people hated on him around me, and I had to, like, they would try to get me to hate on him, and I'd be like, man, I don't know this dude in real life. I can't hate this man just because y'all are telling me to hate him. And over time, those people gravitated away from me, and me and Justin became friends, you know, because it basically, I guess, real recognizes real. You know, like, I didn't hate on him, you know, and I ain't never asked him for shit. That's the other thing, you know me. I ain't begging nobody for nothing. I don't ask nobody for anything, you know. And he's got a ton of people asking him for shit every day. So
Oh yeah, all
I
the
just want to
time.
be his friend, you know. And I told him that when we first met. So now at this point, like we send each other memes and shit, you know. Like,
Yeah, I went four-wheeling with him. He had
oh
these brand new Air Force Ones on, all white.
yeah, he's the Mud King, man. You can't
Shout out,
you can't
shout out
shake
to
it.
Zach. His buddy Zach.
Yeah,
Zach was hitting every daggone mud hole to get
on
his Air
purpose.
Force. Yes, man. When we got done riding it, them Air Force Ones weren't white no more. I can promise you that.
Yeah. Hey, Justin is the Mud King, though. Like, he's built a mud empire, and nobody could take that away from him, you know?
That's a fact.
He's one of the originators of, you know, the three biggest names in the mud park scene are Rednecks with Paychecks, Trucks Gone Wild, and the Redneck Rave. Period. That's it. Those are the top three. Nobody can argue with that. I mean, that's just statistics. That's just numbers. Like, you know, and Justin did that on his own. Like, I mean, he had help. He's got people behind him, but like, man, what a risk to get out there and put your money behind yourself and believe in yourself for something like that, you know? So shout out to him, man.
So I want to talk about the song you did with Catfish Cooley.
Okay, let's talk about it.
How did that come about?
Okay, cool story. So I actually I talked to you earlier. I don't think I said it necessarily on your show. We were talking about earlier. I got a Veterans Day show coming up. And it's at the historic Vasca Theater. So the guy that owns the Vasca is my buddy, and he used to work there for like 17 years, and then he bought it from the owners, and he's renovated it and stuff. But it's like an old theater, you know, so it's been redone. So they do movies there, but they also do a lot of live shows. So Catfish Cooley was coming up this way and was going to do a show there for comedy. And it was just when he was breaking into music. He had just met Big Murph and was just starting to do a little bit of stuff. So I just on my own started advertising the show and was inviting people out to it and this and that. And then when he came to the thing, I showed up and met him, and he knew exactly who I was. It was hilarious because he literally was on Facebook Live when he came into the theater. And it was like, I was like, yo, what's up, I'm Knuckles? And he was like, Knuckles, what's up, brother? I can't believe you're here. And so after that, we just started talking, and we talked about doing some music. And he was like, absolutely, send me something. So I thought that because I'm in Oklahoma, you know, and where he's at down there in Texas, he's close to Louisiana too. Like noodling is a thing. And I knew he would know about it. And I thought Catfish Cooley, who better to do a song about catching catfish with than him. I hit him up with the idea. He was totally down. So I went to my producer's house and we engineered it and wrote it and put it together in just a couple of days. And I sent it to him. And he loved it so much. Like, it only took him a couple of days to get it right back. You know, and that's another one of those things. I've had that song for like a year before I put it out. Like we recorded that in like the end of 2021, and I didn't put it out until this year.
Now, have you two physically met and hung out?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. When he was here in Lawton. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I made sure, like I started advertising the show that he was going to be it was a comedy show. It was right as he was trying to break into music. So I went and supported his comedy thing, and we hung out, met his wife and my wife talked, exchanged numbers. I got his number, and then we started talking after that. You know what I mean? So we had physically met in person.
How were you not put in the hospital from laughing so much? Because that's a funny ass dude.
Dude, he is hilarious. Yeah, Andrew Kahn was there too. So it was him and Andrew Kahn.
Really?
Yeah. So I met both of them at the same
God.
time. Yeah, we took some cool pictures together that night too. Like, it was a good time. Like, really good guys. Like I said, I went to support them, and they were like, I can't believe you came out to support us. Like, you're doing your own thing. And I was like, well, why would I not support that? Like this is what you should do, you know? So after that, like, we became friends. We all became friends, you know, and followed each other and just built a relationship. You know, that's what happens. Like, I showed some love. You know, John Brodnack says it all the time, man. Show love, get love. Like, and that's the realest shit. Like, I show love, and if you don't show love back, well, hey, my love may dwindle. But it's not going to stop me from showing love to people, you know? And in the bigger scheme of things, most of the time it rolls back on you, you know? So you show love, it comes back.
And for those who don't know who Andrew Kahn is, he's the one who did the video with Jelly Roll during the pandemic that actually got Jelly Roll fired from his own publicist.
Yeah. Yo, Andrew's hilarious. Like fucking hilarious. I don't know how he manages to not laugh and stay in that yeah, like his character. Like I don't know how he manages to do it because it's so funny. He's like, like, bro, stop it.
So y'all put the song out?
Yeah, so we put the Noodlin song out, and I got a little like we were gonna try to get together to shoot a music video because I have someone here. You may remember there was a show. It was on TV. It was called Hillbilly Hand Fishing, and it was about noodling. It was on I don't know what channel, the Discovery Channel or one of those channels. But it was a reality show about people who do noodling, and one of the main guys on it is my buddy Skipper Bivens, and Skipper was going to agree to take me and Catfish out and shoot a music video actually noodling, but I couldn't get me and Catfish. We couldn't line up schedules to get him up here in time because the noodling season is real short. Because it happens during spawning season for flatheads, like that's why you can catch them in the holes because they're getting in the holes to lay their eggs, you know. So it's a real short time, about 5-6 week period. So we just couldn't make it happen. So instead, I got an animated music video made for it, you know, and I thought it was cool. And we did like a Scooby Doo theme. We got like the truck looks like the Scooby Doo van, you know, and it's me and Catfish. And we're catching fish and rapping, and so it was a cool little animated music video to go with it. But.
Well, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go ahead and play it.
Absolutely.
All right, folks, we got Knuckles.
Yeah.
With Catfish Cooley. And the song they did called Noodlin'. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
I hit the creek in my home, boys. We don't even need poles, boy. We be jumping in holes, boy. Ready, set, let's go, boys. It's time for some noodling. It's time for some noodling.
Never get catch a fish. Don't need no pose when you use your fist. Got your hand in the hole, not new to this. Say it how we roll with the cannabis. Stay a fly, motherfucker, catch a fish for days. Getting high on the bank, smoking dank with J's. Gotta get that drink, living in the haze. But wait, there's more like Billy May. Have a good time like you wanna catch that fish, smoke a ganja. Take no shit like a plunger. Blowing your mind like you wanna. Get your brain off track to the loosening. Gotta check your facts, got you googling. You think we whack like we doodling. Yo, fuck a picture pole, we noodling.
I hit the creek with my home, boys. We don't even need poles, boy. We be jumping in holes, boy. Ready, set, let's go, boys. It's time for some noodling. It's time for some noodling.
We doing this if you're ready. Noodling, no spaghetti. Truly in holes, we hit it. Coolly, I know you get it. Feet first, head first, big splash, big cats get that. Lip bass, fish, grass, whiplash. With a whirlwind, twirling when that girl spin. Always fishing like I can't find a girlfriend. Grab a curl fin and just hold on. Play hits a big time, let's get your roll on. See my pole gone, I don't need one. I'll snap your cat when I see one. Like sassafras, it's the season. Now pass the grass, I'm feeling free, son. There's a reason, I sing the tune. Fish be in holes every single June. All you need is gloves, pass a string or two. Now it's time for me to go, nice meeting you.
I hit the creek with my home, boys. We don't even need poles, boy. We be jumping in holes, boy. Ready, set, let's go, boys. It's time for some noodling. It's time for some noodling. I hit the creek with my home, boys. We don't even need poles, boy. We be jumping in holes, boy. Ready, set, let's go, boys. It's time for some noodling. It's time for some noodling.
The only thing I gotta ask is,
Yep.
who did the animation for you?
Okay, yeah, Justin said it, and I commented in the chat, but it only went to my channels, and he's on yours. So, J-Bomb Graphics, it popped up right at the end. J-Bomb Graphics does tons of graphics for a lot of people around me. He does all the stuff for Just in Time. He does lots and lots of graphics, and he also does some animated stuff. So, he worked on that for quite a bit of time. because I was specific on like kind of how I wanted it, but you know, I didn't want it to be like super fancy. You know, I gave him a small budget to work with and was like, just take your time and make it fun. You know, like that was what I wanted, was make it fun.
But why didn't he put a cowboy hat on you? That's your
Well,
signature.
he
That's
designed
your
his
signature.
characters. I don't know. He did his thing, you know. Like I let him roll with it because he said he wanted me to look more like Shaggy. Like that was his goal, was like the Scooby-Doo vibe, you know, like the spooky word.
Yeah, but I would have still at least put a cowboy hat. That's your signature look.
It is most of the time. Yeah. You know, on stage I always got a cowboy hat on. So I don't know. It was definitely, it's a fun song, you know. So, and Noodlin' didn't really have there's no theme for Noodlin', so I was hoping maybe someone would hear it and catch on to it, you know.
It is a good song though. It's got a good.
Mhm.
I like the hook to it. I
Yeah.
like the flow, and actually, Catfish Cooley can actually rap.
Oh, very, very much so. I think honestly, I think that's one of the, I was so stoked. Like, I think that's one of his best verses. Like he snapped on that verse. Like he did his thing 100%. Yeah. I was super happy to get it back. So, shout out to him. He's been working on his health too. Been working out again in the gym I've seen recently. So it's really good. And him and his wife are amazing people. They're just really nice people.
Now you also did a song. Where did I see it at?
With who? Or by myself?
Keyboy.
Yeah. So that song is only on YouTube currently. It's on his new album. The new album is called Meaningful Music, and it is available for pre-release right now, or for pre-save, you know. So if you go to like iTunes or whatever, you can it just came out, I think yesterday or the day before, for pre-save. And it's coming out like this, I think December 4th. I might be wrong on the date, but it's coming out in like a month, his album. Yeah, and Keyboy is my buddy. Me and him, we toured all around when we've done several shows with Outlaw Nation together and stuff. So, and he's in Kansas. So I have a couple songs locked and loaded with him that I haven't released yet. I got like 4 or 5 songs me and Keyboy have worked on together. So I absolutely love Keyboy. I think he's one of the most talented artists. When he hits the stage, like I always compare him to Michael Jackson. Like that dude's energy on stage is just amazing. And off stage, he's so quiet and reserved, almost shy. Like he's just a quiet, reserved guy. And then he gets on stage and it's like this switch flips and dude's got dance moves and he's controlling the mic and he's all over the place and he can rap and he can sing. Like his songs could be on any pop station. Like he's got a song called Summer Nights that literally could be on any pop station. Like girls should be dancing to it on the beach somewhere in Miami. Like it's so catchy. Like he's just a talented writer, talented artist. And that song Coming Home, we actually wrote together right when we got home from tour. Me and him did that tour that was 10 days. It was 10 states in 14 days. And we were tired, you know. I mean, there was some conflict on the way, like not between me and him, but just between stuff that happened, you know, and some venues weren't what they said they were, you know. You book venues that are supposed to have professional sound, professional lights, and you get there and they don't have it, you know. And I brought equipment with me, but you're still like, you're expecting things and it doesn't work out, and then you get mad at the venue, and it just makes for bad shows sometimes. Like not a good deal, you know. Like that is what it is. Those are risks you take when you get out there and travel.
Now I noticed a lot of artists, believe it or not, a lot of them do have anxiety and they don't like crowds. But when they get up on that stage, it's like this persona comes over them and they come like a totally different person. Like for an example, I'm gonna use Hitman for an example. He's more recluse to himself. He's not very talkative when he's off stage. You know, he's more of a family man, hangs out with the family.
Yeah.
You know,
he's a family man 100%, more than anything.
But when he gets on the stage, you see a different side of him. It's like,
oh yeah, he owns it.
Yeah, that's not the same person you see off stage.
Yeah. I always explain to people, like Knuckles is a character I built. You know, like at this point, it is me, you know, in a way, but in a way it's not. It's like a costume I put on, you know. But the problem with that is people expect us to be that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they see us on stage a certain way. They see me taking my shirt off and throwing it in the crowd and acting crazy and chugging a beer on stage. And then when I get off stage, I'm like trying to go see my wife and say hi to my kids. And, you know, it is different, you know, but they want us to be that persona all the time, you know. And there's been a lot of artists that have talked about that. You know, Eminem a long time ago was like, you know, when you see me out in public with my kids eating, man, let me be, you know, like, because we're not, you know, it is like acting. It is a character. It is a persona. It's a stage presence. You know, it's you kind of have to learn to transform, you know. So I appreciate artists like, you know, Hitman. I would say one of the biggest ones, in my opinion, is Joe Sapp. New Breed is so reserved.
Yes.
The first picture I took with New Breed, like he tried to like smile and look up in the picture with me, and I was like, no, what are you doing, bro? Do the New Breed thing, bro. Pull your hat down. And like, I was like, come on, man. Like, I need a picture with New Breed. I was like, don't try to like look. I was like, do your thing, you know, like, because he's so reserved, but then he gets on stage and he's New Breed, you know, he does his thing. Like, I know, you know, but only certain people know, when you're on stage, when Welcome to My House is being played live.
Oh my God.
Oh, fucking, I mean, magic in the air. Like, it crazy, absolute crazy. So people, you know, someone, you know, that I totally understand the difference between off stage, on stage, and the switch that gets flipped, you know, and I appreciate people who can do it, because at the end of the day, it is a job, and it is your career, and it is, you know, something totally different, you know. Like, I don't expect the guy who plays Thor to act like Thor if I was to see him getting a Subway sandwich. You know what I mean? Like, I just, you know, but some people do. Some people expect that, you know. So I appreciate those guys that get on there and turn it on, and then get off the stage and turn it off, you know.
The funny thing is, when you're talking about New Breed, I have a joke with him. If I were to talk anything but music with him, you couldn't get a word in edgewise. And that's a joke because he won't say anything. It's,
right.
Yeah. Yeah. But as soon as you talk music, you can't get him to shut up. I mean,
yeah, it blows up.
When it comes to music, man, he will talk your ears off.
This is love. Yeah. 100%.
But anything else, you may get 5 words out of him in an hour. It's like trying to pull teeth from a bear. But the funny thing is, he has a very funny side to him. He's very comedic, but he doesn't unless you're around him, you never really see it.
Yeah. He's just reserved, man. He doesn't trust a lot of people. You know, he's had a rough life. He's been through it. You know, people get like that. You know, life's hard. Tim, you know this. Come on.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, he's probably going to kill me for showing you this, but I got to show you. This is hilarious.
Tim's about to show us the hidden things we're not supposed to see. Hello, Dawn, on my Facebook, one of my wonderful supporters. I when did StreamYard start that multiple, like allowing me to stream your stream? That's pretty cool.
About 3 months ago.
Okay, that's very cool. I probably haven't used StreamYard in about 3 months. Thank you, Meg. The like button is free. What up, Aaron, on my Facebook?
I'm on the wrong channel.
My supporters are super awesome. I see the same names all the time. I know all my people.
Here we go. So I came across this video. Actually, Brandy said it to me about 2 years ago. And it was New Breed in his house getting a cup of ice.
Okay.
So if you know anything about New Breed, he loves ice. He's always constantly chewing on ice. Well, you got to see this.
It's an addiction, like any other.
When I showed this to him in July, he daggone couldn't stop laughing.
Is this the security cam footage?
Yeah. Now, for those you don't know, New Breed boy, he loves ice. That man can sit there and chew on ice 24 hours a day. I don't know how he does it. Man, that stuff be killing my teeth if I eat ice like that. That's just me. But you will never find New Breed without a cup of ice. If he's somewhere without a cup of ice, oh, he's having a bad day. And that's a fact. All right, let's go. Hold up. Dupree, what happened, man? What happened? He said, "Mother humper, man." Daggone ice just fell right out of his cup, fell right out of his hand. Ice all over the floor. Well, you know, you be having one of those moments where you're trying to do something and you got your mindset on something. You can't wait to get that nice. Because I know what he's doing. He wants that nice cold glass of Coca-Cola. He loves his soft drinks. He's got to have his Cokes 24/7. If he don't, boy, that's like daggone having a coffee drinker go without coffee. And you don't want that. But then he just slips out of his hands, goes all over the floor. After all that work to get that ice. Man, that's hilarious. Let's go. This is where it gets funny. Boy, he's pissed. Oh, must have more than one. A different set of clothing now.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
I'm fucking dead.
New Breed. Man, you open up the fridge and there. Man, somebody set you up, my guy. Like, for real. All right, so I thought this was like 2 different takes, but he told me that this is all the same take, but when he gets close to the camera, it goes to color. When you're further away from the camera.
Okay, yeah, it was in black and white. Well, he clicked the light on too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, I was laughing at first. Like, you could see his whole fucking attitude shift. Like, he
like,
lifted his shirt, you know?
Motherfucker.
But the second time, he froze. Like, I can't believe this shit is happening.
So he said when he slammed the door, the bar on the freezer fell off and everything just fell out.
That's just
hilarious. Real. Boy. Oh, yeah, somebody had to set you up. Either that or your house is haunted. And don't even skip a beat. Just go straight to the cooler and get some ice. Hey, that's dedication right there. That's die hard. Oh, my God. You ain't even worry about stuff on the floor. Hey, man, how the hell this happened? Oh, man, we got to run that back again. Let's go. I want to see how he drops the cup. Oh, snap. I think he caught it on the edge of the freezer and just knocked it out of his hand. New Breed, I ain't laughing at you, man. I'm laughing with you. Let's go. He is pissed. Ooh. Ooh. Oh,
Fuck. That's funny.
epic. Now I wonder, the person who had the camera set up, did they set him up? Did they set you up, New Breed? Just saying, it's a good possibility. Yeah, I guess they want to see your reaction. I'd be cussing. Ooh, I'd be calling everything but a child of God right about then, man.
Yo, that is the funniest thing. That's real life right there. That's what people don't see when we're on stage. We
Yeah.
get mad when the ice falls out.
So I showed it to him in July, during that time. And he just laughed and laughed and laughed for like 30 minutes straight. And it was good to see him laugh.
That's hilarious.
Oh, it was just
That
hilarious.
was a great video.
And every time somebody show up at the house, I was like, hey, you want to see something funny? You want to see something funny?
Yeah.
And they were
hilarious.
just dying laughing.
Yeah, I love
Oh,
that. That's
I just
great.
had to show you that.
Oh no, I'm happy I saw that. That made my whole night. He was like, motherfucker.
It's very seldom where you see him get upset. I've
No,
never seen him get
he's
upset.
calm, cool, and collected all the
Yeah.
time. Very
Even when
calm.
something happened bad at a show, he doesn't get
Mm-mm.
upset. He doesn't get angry. He just cool, calm, collect, like you said, and he just goes
Yeah.
along with it. And that says a lot about him as a person.
It does. It does, man.
Uh,
Hey, if you want to be an entertainer, I don't know if anybody's watching that wants to be, but man, it is stressful. Like, golly, it's stressful.
Yeah.
You got to put so much time, energy, and money into it before you see anything back. I mean, like, it's funny because for a long time, me and my wife had this joke. She was at a bar one time and she said something about she could rap. And a guy was like, I'll give you $100 if you could rap right now. And she spit a rap that she had just recently written, and he gave her $100 bill. And she used to say, I've made more money rapping than you have in one moment, And I was like, oh, okay, I got you. But now, I've paid for the house and shit with rap. So she didn't get to say that anymore. But for a while, it was like that. Like, I put so much time, energy, money into stuff, and there was no return. There was nothing coming back. It was just, I wanted to do it. I wanted it. I was hoping that someday it would return itself. Like, it's a risk. It's a huge risk to get out there and put yourself out like that.
And you put a lot of time away from the family, because there for a while you were working full time as well.
Yeah. So I will say the best thing that I did for music was leave my full-time job and make music my career. But at the same time, man, that's scary. Like, I had a good job. Like, I have a bachelor's degree in IT. I'm not uneducated. Like, and I had a real good IT job for like 5-6 years, but it was so stressful that it wasn't worth the return on the money I was getting. It just, like, it was literally affecting my health. Like, it's one of those jobs. It's like being a fireman. Like, I'd have to wake up at midnight and answer emails and fix shit. And so, it's just not good. It's just not cool. Not a cool thing. I didn't like it. So, and not saying that I won't do it again. And I still do computer stuff for people, and it is what it is. But taking that risk and betting on myself and being like, I'm making enough money now off social media and music that I can pay the bills. Not that it's going to get me rich, but I can take this risk and step out of this full-time job and know that I can make money as Knuckles and still be able to live. Like, that's huge, like, it's a huge risk. But if you want to do it, you have to do it full time. Like, you have to put your all into it. You have to take that step off that ledge, So,
and what a lot of people,
that's the time I started touring and stuff, like you said, like, 18 months ago or so is when I took that step, and it's been positive for my music and my health and my mental state, and everything, really, honestly. Like,
and what a lot of people may not know is that, you didn't come from a big financial background. I mean, you
No, I'm
did
from
some
the
things.
trailer park. My dad was in the military. Mom didn't have a
Right.
job. You know,
But what I'm saying is, you did some things that that you had to go to jail for. You
oh
spoke
yeah,
on
I
that
did 5 years in
before.
prison. Yep, yep.
You came out, and I just because I said this to you before. You could take the hard right or the easy wrong, and fortunately, you took the hard right when you got out,
Yep.
and you wanted to prove to people that you could do something with your life, and you did.
Yeah.
You got married, you had kids, got a bachelor's degree, you had a good job, you pursued your music career, and now you're doing it full time. So I'm like super proud of you just on that aspect alone.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not everybody. Like, the number of people who have felonies and do time in prison and then get out and stay out and do something with their lives. It's a very small percentage. It's like people who get on heroin or something and get off. Like it's very small percentage. So I
I mean,
guess
if you think about it, you and Jelly Roll kind of almost have like the same,
we
almost
do.
same
Jelly
background.
man. I've loved Jelly for like 10 years, man. I've been following Jelly for a long time, like way before he was famous. I got buddies that got 2 or 3 songs with Jelly Roll that they paid $100 a verse for, because that's how long ago it was. Like, and it is true. People like him, Adam Calhoun too, people like that. Like I gravitate towards those guys because we've had the same life. They've done the same things I've done. They grew up, they did the things, they got in trouble, they went to jail, got out of jail, they became successful. They kept pushing against the odds, they overcame. Like I like to think that in America, it's the land of opportunity, and those opportunities don't stop even after a setback. Something like prison doesn't stop us here. It doesn't, it's tough. Don't get me wrong. My wife hates the fact that a felony lasts forever. She doesn't think that type of shit should be, like it shouldn't be on my record for the rest of my life. Like,
Well, you can get it expunged, but it's kind of expensive.
Well, I can't because mine are violent. Because I sadly was a guy who liked to fucking have guns and stuff like that when I was younger. So,
Really?
those I can't get mine expunged, unfortunately. I can get like a governor's pardon and then get them expunged. If I was to get big enough that the governor chose to do that or whatever. But like at this point, I've just accepted it. Like I don't. It's so long that if I was to get a job or something, it's not on the background check. This Christmas Eve, it'll be 15 years since I got out of prison. So
Has
it's
it
been a
been
long
that
time.
long?
Yeah, been 15 years. 2008, I got out. Yep.
Man, how time has gone by.
Yep. And it's crazy because like I did five solid calendar years in prison, and I'm just a little over 40, so that's an eighth of my life I was behind bars and fences, locked away. That's a huge percentage.
It is.
But I like to think that I've worked my ass off since I got out and tried to make up for it, and I think that if I hadn't gone to prison, I might not have worked so hard. Like I knew I was behind. Like in my head, I'm like, yo, I'm 5 years behind everybody. I gotta work twice as hard to make up for that time.
Yeah.
In every aspect. And I don't know that I would have had the drive I have, if that's the right word, like.
Well, I've told you this before. Everything happens for a reason.
Sure. Yeah. And I know. And that's the same thing with my dad passing. Dad didn't get to see, like, my music career since my dad has passed 4 years ago is way bigger than it was, the 5 years before my dad passed. Like all of the biggest songs I've made are several of them are specifically because my dad passed. Like, and me and my mom talk about that a lot because her favorite artist is Loretta Lynn, and her dad died the year before she wrote Coal Miner's Daughter and got signed and blew up and became literally a living legend, the Queen of Nashville, like it's Loretta Lynn, so her dad saw none of that.
Right.
And that's my mom's favorite artist. So I just put that in my head to be like, okay, well, hopefully he saw it from heaven. So hopefully my dad is seeing what I'm doing, like, but I do know, like you just said, everything happens for a reason. I wouldn't be where I am if I hadn't went to prison. I wouldn't have the stories to tell that if I hadn't been through it, I wouldn't, the people that I've reached and touched and they're like, yo, this song does this for me, or, your story really helps me. And the fact that you were able to get clean off drugs and you used to stick needles in your arms, now you don't. Like, that gives me life. Like, those are what helped me, it makes it all worth it, of course,
And a lot of people don't know or may not know that you were really big in the church at one time, correct?
Yeah, and I'm still really big into the fact that I believe God is everything, But yeah, when I went to prison, like, I grew up and wasn't really into church. My grandma was really into church. She tried to make me go to church, and I kind of rejected it,
Mm-hmm.
But then when I went to prison, I started reading the Bible on my own and just doing my thing. Like, I wanted to learn about God, I was on my own. I was just doing all these things. So I started learning, started studying. I got out and was like, I want to join the church. I want to make a positive impact on the community. So I joined a church. I don't know how long I was there before, like, I started trying to volunteer for stuff. But then, like, I ended up becoming the youth pastor. And I was youth pastor for almost 3 years. and I helped a bunch of kids. I was helping teens. But I'll be honest with you, church in prison and then church in the outside world is two different things. Because all the guys at church in prison are there because they want to be. Like, like, they want to be there. They don't have to be there. But a lot of people at church are there because it's like a fashion show, or it's like the community get together, or I don't really know how to put the vibe on it, but like, it took a few years for that to become so evident. And it wasn't the kids that ran me away. It wasn't my responsibilities. It wasn't my time. It was the adults. It was the backbiting and the bickering. And I was like, why can't y'all get along? And then, like I said, I didn't sugarcoat things. I didn't necessarily like cuss in my youth group or anything, but like, I would tell them stories about prison. I wouldn't sugarcoat things because I believed my job was to prevent you from making the same mistakes I made, so, and the only way to do that is to tell you the truth. Like, that's it. I gotta give you a bird's eye view of what can happen to you if you make stupid decisions, and like, that made some people mad, and they were like, you're being too rough with the kids. They're 13. They don't need to hear this. And I'm like, they're 13. They do need to hear this. I was smoking weed when I was 13. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, you're sheltered and you're ignoring the world, like, so like, I had some conflict with the adults of the church and some of the people. And I ended up just stepping down because I was like, well, listen, I'm not going to tell anyone how to raise their children. That's your job, 100%. But I don't want you to think that I'm the bad guy simply because I'm trying to open their eyes to what the world is like, and right. And that's the truth of it. It's like, God is real. There's love in the world. There's beautiful things in the world, but there's also evil in the world. There's ugly things in the world, and every single person has their own personal decision to make, and so at that point, like I said, I stepped away. I'm still a firm believer. I'm a believer till the day I die. I'll die, and hopefully God is real and there's something after this, but I realized that the church as an institution, especially in America, it's faltering and it's flawed, and it's not what it should be. We shouldn't have things that like mega churches. Exactly. There shouldn't be a mega church. Pastors don't need a private jet. Let's keep it real. Like, Jesus would frown on all that. Like, if Jesus was here, he'd frown on all this shit. So like, I've learned that I can rep God through my actions rather than my words. If that's a thing. Like, and
well, that's just like Mises. Mises does the same thing.
Oh yeah. That's my guy. Yeah, absolutely. Chuck is the guy, bro. He's one of my favorite rappers. That dude is.
He's in my top 5.
Oh, so bro, 4 albums, no features. Like, he don't need a feature. Like.
So I want to talk about something what you just said.
Okay.
So when you were a youth minister, you said that you would just keep it real with the kids.
Yep.
I don't know if you remember, but the very first time I interviewed you, I said, do you mind if we open it up the panel and let people come up and ask you questions? And one of the supporters of the channel named Brenda Spencer came up, and she was
son
talking
just
about
got in trouble, right?
Yes.
Yep. I
remember what she asked you, and do you remember your answer? Because it was, I thought, was the coldest but realest answer
So I remember
could
it was
tell
about her
somebody.
son, and she was like, "What can I do?" And I remember that I gave her a real answer and was like, "Tough love" or something like that. I was like, "It is what it is. You've got to distance yourself." Or I remember like I gave her a real, and I could tell she really accepted it and wasn't
And
expecting
I was
that.
like, damn, Knuckles, that's cold.
Well,
You're like,
but it's real. If I hadn't gone to prison, I probably wouldn't got clean off meth. Like I was a dope cook. Like there's laws in Oklahoma specifically because of me and my friends. Like the reason you have to go buy Sudafed from the fucking the pharmacy and not on the shelves, that's me and my friends. We did that when we were 18, 16, you know, like we did that. Like we did that. I cooked a shit ton of meth. Like I'm the reason for laws. And so because of that, I understand like sometimes you need a reality check, you know, like reality's harsh, you know, and sometimes we can enable people because we love them. Like, and you know, I've done some drug rehab classes and shit when I was in prison, and these are the things they teach you. Like enabling is a thing. Your mama loves you, so when you ask her for $20, she wants to give you the $20, and you're like, hey, I want to take my girl to the movies. Can I have $20? But then you're really going to go buy some cocaine to snort. You know what I mean? Like that's reality. People do that shit all the time. And your mom knows you're buying coke. She knows, but she's still going to give you the $20 because she loves you. But that shit's wrong. It's wrong. You're not going to get off the coke until she stops giving you the $20. You know what I mean? So in reality, if she actually loves you, she needs to be tough and say, no, I'm not giving you the money. I know you're going to go do drugs with it. You need to figure your life out. Because it takes a real reality check, man. Like it really does. Like people get set in their ways real easy. Humans are comfortable creatures. Like we don't like change. We don't like movement. We don't like to change things, you know? So in order for us to make a change, it's tough, you know? We have to shake ourselves to the core.
yeah, because she said she's afraid that her son may die from using meth. And you were like, I hate to say this, but show him tough love. If he dies, that's on him.
Yeah. I mean,
and I was like, but it was the realest. Yeah, but it was the realest thing. So what I want to tell you is, because of what you said to her, she actually did it, and her son did kick it.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because of the words that you said to her. That's some real huge shit right there,
man. Yeah, that's fucking amazing. I'd like to hear that. That's very cool. I'd love to hear something come back.
So those type of messages that you give to people, keep giving it, because that's what people need to hear. They may not want to hear it, but they need to hear it.
No, a lot of people need to hear shit they don't want to hear.
Exactly.
We don't want to be hurt as humans. And even emotionally, you know, you don't want to be told you're a piece of shit. You don't want to be told that you're at the dregs of humanity right now. Like, bro, look at you. You haven't showered in 4 days. What's wrong with you? You don't want to be told that shit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But sometimes you gotta be. Like, there's no way you can get out of that if nobody tells you it's wrong. You know, like,
yeah. If you keep enabling somebody, it's going to get worse.
Yeah. Like I said, like, you know, a lot of classes, drug classes and shit like that. That's one of the things they teach you. Get away from people, places, and things that enable you to do drugs. You know, if your buddy sells drugs, you got to get away from him. You can't be around him because you're not going to be able to say no. It's not going to happen, especially at first. You know, maybe years down the road, you're strong enough to be like, you know, I've been around drugs. You know, I do big shows. A lot of bigger artists, you know, people do drugs. You know, it's a thing. I be shows in the back. You know, they're doing coke and stuff, and I'm like, not me. I'm gonna go over here. Let me get this sandwich and a beer. You know, like I know what I'm good with. Like I know what I'm not good with. You know, like, and I don't judge anybody for what they're doing. I understand,
right?
But you know, but at the same time, I know it's not me. I'm not strong enough, and I don't have a problem admitting my weakness on things like that. Like I'm a drug addict, like real bad, and I know I can't. You know, maybe some people can do coke on the weekends or whatever. I can't. You know, and I would never dream to pretend like I could. You know, if I do it Saturday and Sunday, you better believe we're not going to work Monday. We're doing coke. You know, like,
right?
Like, yeah, like it's just not gonna happen. I'm gonna fuck my whole life up. You know, so. You know, but it takes it's a commitment of what do you want out of life? Do you want something good or do you just want to exist where you are? You know,
Exactly.
and it's hard. It's hard. It's not easy. Life's not easy. Shit.
You're absolutely right about that.
No.
So I just wanted to tell you that success story there
Hey,
because
I really appreciate you telling me that. That's really good to hear back. Like that's a cool story to hear. You know, and it is like I said, I remember she was crying. Like I remember she was genuinely crying. And I didn't know what else to say except the truth. You know, the truth is you're telling me he's being a piece of shit. Okay, well, fuck, he's being a piece of shit. You know how to change that? You gotta tell him he's a piece of shit. You know, like that's it. You know, he's not gonna hear it. He's not gonna believe it.
Like,
but it's
damn,
real.
Knuckles, damn, you gotta be so real. But
man,
but life.
I don't. But I want to help people. I want people who have been where I've been to come out because I've come out. You know, like I got a cat. You know, like
I see that cat always jumping. What's that cat's name?
This is her actual name is Amelia Earhart.
Amelia Earhart.
Yeah, she's my explorer, but I call her Boop because if you put your finger in front of her, she'll like boop your finger. See that? So I started calling her Boop. You know how like everybody's got pets, but they don't call their pets by the name. You know, everybody got like a nickname. Like she's Boop, but her actual name is Amelia.
We had a black cat one time named Smokey.
I had a black cat named Smokey.
I hated that cat. And the reason is I did like him, but he would scare the shit out of me every night. So me and my wife, we had this king size bed that had like this footboard and then it had a headboard. It was like staggered.
Yep.
He would jump up on the end of the headboard
and jump to the other one.
And jump right over my head and scare the shit out of me. He'd do it every night.
Yeah, my cats, they're brutal. They get on your face and all that. You know, like they have no respect. They don't give a fuck about you.
Unfortunately, I got a 165-pound dog that thinks she's a cat.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, lap dogs who are big. I had a big lap dog before. Like they're not. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like you can't get in my lap. Look how big you are. You're not a Chihuahua. Stop it.
She will literally get up in my face in the middle of the night to be petted. If I don't pet her, she'll paw the hell out of me. And with those big ass daggone feet, it hurts.
Oh yeah, you're done. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I want to talk about this next song you did.
Okay.
And to me, it has a very strong message. And it's called Believe.
Okay. So this is my only released country song, 100% country. I'm singing. I can't sing for shit, so forgive me if you think it's trash. I think it's trash too. But this is one of those songs, like, you know how I said earlier, like I feel like sometimes God like gives you songs like I couldn't stop. Like this was, the words were in my head and the melody, it just kept spinning. And I went to my producer and was like, hey, Future, yo, I want to do a country song. And he's always trying to get me to sing. Like he thinks I'm way more talented than I actually am. Like he always wants me to do rock songs and country songs. And he's like, expand your genre. And I'm like, nah, bro, I just want to do bars. You know, like I got rap. But so he convinced me to do this. Like when I told him, I was like, hey, I got this idea for this. He was like, let's do it. Let's do it right now. Let's stop. He was like, let's do this song. And I was like, okay. You know, so he coached me through the vocalization a little bit. And the idea of the song is no matter how hard life is, there's still something out there. If you believe in something, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, I'll never claim to tell you about your God or your beliefs or whatever it is. But I personally think every human has to believe in something to keep going. Whatever it is. It's like the stand for something or fall for anything. Like whatever it is, like believe. And for me, you know, my beliefs, I'm open about them. You know, if you ask me, I'll tell you. I won't push them on you. That's not my thing, you know, but I think that you should believe in something. Whatever it is, right. I don't care if you believe in Wiccan and you like to go into the woods and make fires or whatever, like you like nature, whatever you believe in. If you believe in Jesus and you want to go kneel and pray at the cross, like whatever you believe in, you need to believe in something. I think we as humans, we need a hope out there in order to keep like the donkey with the carrot. You know what I mean? Like you need something in front of you to keep pushing, you know, and it took me a while to realize that as a human. But that's the basis for this song. And for me, of course, you know, there's some Christian elements in the music video and things like that. I shot at a really cool place called the the holy city that we have out here in the wildlife refuge. They do an Easter pageant every year, so there's a whole like old Jerusalem looking city built out there, so it's pretty cool. But I don't try to tell anyone what to believe. I just think that you need to believe in something, whatever it is.
I agree with you. Most definitely.
Yeah, and like I
That's
said,
how you
first
that's how you
country
came up
song.
with the story. That's how
Yep,
you came up
that's
with the
it.
song.
That's the
Okay.
song. And my first country song. Like my producer, like I said, can kind of convince me to be like try to do something different, you know. So
All right, here we go. We
all right,
got
believe. Let's do it.
by Knuckles.
I found something to believe in. I'm not strong enough on my own. You know, I've always been a heathen. I'm just an old dog with my bone. I've been searching for a season. Trekked all across the globe, and now I finally found a reason. Thanks to you, I'm not alone. I found something to believe in. I've been searching for a long, long time, and now I finally found my way. And I've been looking but was so blind that I couldn't see the day. I got knocked on down and couldn't get back up, and so I hit my knees and prayed. And then you reached on down and helped me get back up and told me, just proceed away. Found something to believe in. I'm not strong enough on my own. You know, I've always been a heathen. I'm just an old dog with my bone. I've been searching for a season. Trekked all across the globe, but now I finally found the reason. Thanks to you, I'm not alone. I found something to believe in. I've been walking on a long, long path, and now my old bones are tired. The days are gone and then the songs all pass, and so's the pride, passion, and fire. But I keep running with the devil's son, mama's only rebel son, and so I just can't retire. I keep on watching as the sands run down until the last one, and that's the day that I expire and find something to believe in. I'm not strong enough on my own. You know, I've always been a heathen. I'm just an old dog with my bone. I've been searching for a season. Trekked all across the globe, and now I finally found a reason. Thanks to you, I'm not alone. I found something to believe in.
All right, I gotta ask.
Yep.
The church you were in,
Yep.
was that the same church your father's funeral was at?
No, it was not. So
It looks familiar. It looked like it though.
it does. So that church is actually out there at the place called the Holy City of the Wichitas. And you go in there and you're so where I was sitting in the pews, you're kind of actually not supposed to sit there. like they don't really tell you you're not supposed to, but there's a little barrier. But I talked to the people in the gift shop before and was like, I'm shooting this music video. And one of the people there actually knew who I was. And they were like, yeah, you're Knuckles. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I'm going to shoot this music video. And at the end of it, I'm going to put a dedication to the Holy City because I know you guys only work off donations. And I hope that's okay. And they were like, oh, this is a great idea, blah, blah, blah. You know, so they basically gave me permission to do something you're not supposed to do out there. So like me sitting in those pews, there's actually a velvet rope that stops you from getting in those pews, but they told me I could do it. So yeah, so it's beautiful. And there's like, murals all on the ceiling. Like it's a beautiful church out there. And like I said, so the Easter pageant that they do is actually the longest running Easter pageant in all of the United States. It started in like 1914 or something like that. So it's been going for like literally 100 years. So and you can look at it. It looks like Jerusalem. It looks like the Middle East, but it's not. That's here in Oklahoma,
I thought your vocals were pretty good, to be quite honest.
I mean, it's a lot of EQ and auto tune and production. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the words are good. How about that?
It's definitely got a strong message.
It does have a strong message. Yeah. I'm proud of the song. I'm just not a singer. I'll never be a singer. My voice is not as, I'm not Oliver Anthony. I don't have that voice,
Yeah, well, Jelly Roll thought he wasn't a singer either.
Yeah, he was wrong though. Like one of my favorite songs is "Fall in the Fall," and it's because Jelly's vocals on that chorus are so strong.
Yeah, most definitely. So, when you shoot a music video, what does it take you to get in character?
So for a music video,
is there a routine you go through?
No, but my first guy the first guy who I shot music videos for me, he ended up using my music videos in his resume to get a job working for the United States government. And now his actual title is director. He moved from Oklahoma to Virginia and makes PSAs for the government.
Okay.
That's cool. Actual makes commercials and PSA, like it's what he does now. And it's from his music video because his editing and his shooting and stuff is really good. But he gave me the best piece of advice that I got right away. He said, hey, when you do music videos, you've got to over exaggerate everything. Over exaggerate. When you make your mouth movements, you got to go, yeah, I want tag. You got to be real big, because if you just go, it doesn't come across very well on the camera. Camera needs big movements. You got to over exaggerate everything, especially on music videos, because you only get 2 seconds here, 3 seconds there, 4 seconds here. Like it's very fast movements. It's not like a TV show where you're watching a whole 2-minute scene before the camera shifts. In a music video, it's really fast. And so he taught me just be very big with everything. So for me to do a music video, that's all I do. I over exaggerate everything. I overact everything. And it always comes across well on the camera. And that, compared to my first music video where I didn't really understand what he was saying when he told me to do it, I realized my lips are like, it doesn't look as good as when you actually enunciate and make sure that your lips match. Makes it easier for them to match the video. It makes it easier for that to look good, So like, he taught me that real early. So to get in mode for a music video, I just know I'm just gonna be big, and I'm just gonna try to be as extra as I can, because those 2-second clips of that, it's just gonna look like a lot of energy. It's not gonna look silly. It's not gonna look over the top. Okay. So that's my biggest secret. If anybody's listening and you shoot music videos, or you're an artist, like that's my biggest secret for music videos. Be absolutely extra for a music video, because it's not gonna seem extra when it comes across. Look at all our 90s hip hop videos. They wore like big puffy suits, and they were in like the cheese grater things. And, like everything about it was ridiculous, like.
Oh, that they had a lot of special effects done in those videos.
Oh, of course. Yeah. And if you have someone who's good at special effects, like my lady who does my music videos these days, like she's really good at not like big special effects, but like the right ones, like she's good at using them for transitions and things like that. Like it's very cool. She'll fill up the sky with stuff, like she made my Army Brat music video and things like that. So she's very, very good at what she does, and I appreciate that, because that's a lot of work to get that good.
So is your hype man still working with you?
So my hype man is not. So sometime last year, he had some personal issues in his personal life that was affecting work. I mean, doing music is work. When we're touring the country and I'm paying you and you're setting stuff up and we're doing all these things, and we had a heart to heart, and I was like, real life is more important than the music. Like, I don't know how else to put that, but like, if your relationship and your home life and things are being affected by you doing things like traveling and touring and stuff, then you need to take care of home life. And because of that, me and him kind of had a falling out. And then him and his girl kind of had a falling out after that. And he was like, he was like, I need to move to make a change, So I was like, that's fine. It is what it is. So he went back to Colorado for a while. So I think at this point he's moved back to Oklahoma, but we haven't really been in touch. I just kind of let him drift off and do his own thing, basically. Like, because I didn't want to try to influence him one way or the other, because personal life stuff versus like, I need you on my team. Like, I know that's no comparison to what you've got going on in your real life,
Right.
Like, I would never tell somebody that they're, hey man, you being my guy on stage is more important than whatever you're a girl and you were going through. Like, that's not life. That's not how it works. If you've got to take care of your real life stuff, then do that, And I didn't want to be involved in whatever they were dealing with either, because we're really close and stuff like that. So I kind of like stepped back a little bit. And then because of that, I guess their stuff, didn't work out. And then he just needed to get away, and so I couldn't say no or stop that, or, there's nothing I could do about that. Like, so no, he kind of stepped away and did his own thing and tried to take care of some issues in his real life. So, but unfortunately, I love his energy on stage. I loved what we were doing together. I loved the music we were making. And I would love to have him back with me, honestly. But sometimes personal issues versus professional issues, I mean, it just, everyone has a personality and everyone has things they're dealing with. And, it just can't, sometimes it's not reconcilable and you've just got to do your thing,
So are you auditioning for another hype man?
I'm not. I just have just been doing it on my own. Having a hype man on stage is great because it gives you that ability to take a breath and, you've got that extra energy and stuff. But at the same time, what I've learned is, because I do all this myself and I pay everybody on my team, I pay my DJ, I pay my drummer, I pay my guitarist, I pay people, like, that's just one more paycheck. It's one more personality I have to deal with. It's one more person I have to front on, it's one more energy I have to put into someone, and that's the thing with me and Rickard, my hype man. Like, we did a whole album together. I put a lot of energy into him that I can't get back.
Right.
And not that I'm mad at him, because I love him and I put that energy into him because I wanted to, but then for him to be like, yo, I've got to move on and this isn't where we're moving forward, I feel like that energy was a waste almost, like I have a bunch of cool songs with him that I can't even really perform at shows because he's not with me, so like
yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, it is. But like I said, no hate from me, and he seems to be doing okay. And so that's all I could hope for, but no, I guess I'm just going to keep doing my thing. Like, so it's funny because like I've had like my drummer is my buddy Kat, and I've known him since he was like 6. Like, his uncle is one of my best friends growing up. So I've literally known him since he was a little kid. Like, my buddy's sister had a baby and I was like, oh, look, there's a kid. So like, I've known him since he was little. He's been playing the drums since he was 2. Extremely talented, but he's my 6th drummer. I've had 5 drummers before him that didn't work out.
Wow.
Yeah. Rickard was my 6th hype man. I've had 5 hype men before him that didn't work out.
Really?
Yeah. I've had 4 separate guitarists. Yeah. Like, I've been trying to do this. Dude, people who can build a fucking band like Nirvana and like stay together and do, bro, the utmost respect. It is so hard to get 4 or 5 personalities together to fit into a schedule, to be able to do practice, to make music, to do the shows. It is insane. That's why I made my wife my DJ. I know her ass is going to be there. You know what I mean? Like, and it's only been that she's really gotten, since she started law school the last couple of years, she's not my DJ because she's just too busy with real life, So
right.
Like, but that's why I made her my DJ, because my last DJ before that didn't make a show. And I was like, I just need you to push these buttons to play this shit. And afterwards she was like, I actually had a good time doing that. And I was like, want me to show you a couple things and you could just do it? And that would be great because you're there, you know, and I know you're going to be there and I can count on you and I can, because I'm betting on myself. But I also have to bet on the people around me if they're on my team, right? You know, like the Mets, it takes 9 people for the Mets to do something. You know, the Texas Rangers just won, you know, the World Series, and it took all 9 of them, well, more than 9, but you know, the 9 guys on the field. So it's like that. When you get bigger, especially, you know, Jelly Roll's got a guitarist, he's got a drummer, he's got, you know, there's other people on stage. Hell, sometimes some sort has got a whole choir, you know, like the CMA awards and shit. Like, it's a big production. The bigger it gets, the more it's a production, the more it's a, you know, and that's why. So at this point, like, I'm comfortable with the people that I pay every show. I know what my budget is. I know what I can tell people when people hit me up and they're like, hey man, we'd like to book you for this. I'm like, hey, here's how much it costs. Let me tell you why it costs that. It's because I show up with the drummer, I show up with the DJ, we'll play a 3-hour set. I can guarantee to sell this many tickets. Like, you know, like I've got it, you know, you have to, it's a business, you know, so adding a hype man at this point, I don't think adds any value. So I'm just going to keep moving forward by myself.
So what's the biggest show you performed at?
The Outlaw Nation show, I would say this year at Knob Noster. Either this year or last year at Knob Noster. Maybe like 1,200, 1,400, something like that. A lot, you know, like I got cool pictures with a big crowd. Like, it was the first time I've ever taken pictures like that. You know, I've done a couple shows.
Were you nerve shot? Did it get
No,
you
no,
nervous?
no. I don't get nervous. No, I don't get nervous. 5 years in prison. Yeah, I've showed my butthole to over 1,000 people. like when you go do a visitation, like my mom and dad just come see me like every other week or so. And like when you do a visitation before you go back to your cell, you know, after you get strip search, you have to bend over and show your butthole and cough. So like I've showed my butthole to a bunch of people. So after that, bro, like me standing on stage rapping is nothing. Are you kidding me? like I just got people like, I have no stage fright. Like Tim, I don't get nervous. I don't get stage fright. Like I tell everybody, and that's the reason why, like, I've showered with like 10,000 men. Like I don't get nervous. God. Like nothing bothers me. Like what do you mean? Like I've been through the gutter, you know, like I'm happy to be here. You know,
we got Knuckles unfiltered.
Yeah, I mean, it's just real. Like I'm just happy to be here. You know, like I don't get nervous on stage. No, give me the mic.
Oh, I'm gonna clip that. Oh, I showed my butthole to 1,000 people.
Hey, yeah, I'm telling you, those strip searches aren't good, man. Like for real, like, you know, 5 years in prison is a long time, Tim. I had to visit every other week. You do the math, bro.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, when I go to the doctor and they're like, I'm gonna need to, and I'm like, oh no, it's cool, bro. Whatever body part you need, tell me, doc. And they're like, well, no, sir, we just needed your elbow. And I'm like, sorry, I'll put my pants back on. Yeah. You know, I don't get nervous. You know, it's the military's the same way, though. When you're in the trenches with someone, you've been, why are you worried about it? I can't get nervous at something like that. You know, like I've been shot at. Like you've been shot. Like you've literally been shot. You know, would you be nervous?
I've been shot. I've been shot. I've been blown up, but never shot.
Well, okay. Well, yeah, that's even worse. Jesus fuck. So why'd you say that like I was lower? Like, no, I haven't been shot. I've only been blown up.
Well, because, you know, I don't know what it feels like to be shot, but people that have been shot and blown up, they said they'd rather be blown up than shot.
Really? Yeah. Wow. Okay, because so I know a bunch of people who have been shot and stabbed, and they all said they'd rather be shot than stabbed, and that surprised me. They all said being stabbed was very cold, and being shot was very hot and over in an instant. Like, and then it's just a pain that's like radiating.
Yeah, because the reason why they said they'd rather be blown up, the healing process is a lot faster than being shot. Okay.
I guess I could see that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be blown up, Tim.
It's not fun, but
no, that's what I'm saying. I cannot believe you said that. You were like, yo, hold on. Being shot. No. I was only blown up. I
Yeah.
was only blown up.
Yeah, I was never shot.
And I'm like, bro, nobody's just like, I was only blown up. Like, no, Tim, thank you for your service. You already know. Like, I mean, for real, like, because so my brother-in-law, he was in the Iraq conflict, and he told me a story about the first time he had to fire a gun. He was 50 cal gunner on the top of the Humvee or whatever, you know. And he said when it happened, like, people just ran in front of their convoy and they had AKs, and they pointed them up, and like for a second he was like, is this really happening?
Yeah.
Are they really, like, is this really? And then he said the next thing you know, he just started shooting, you know. And he said afterwards, like, he pissed himself. Like, he pissed himself, his whole pissed. And he thought everybody was going to make fun of him. And he said, no one said a fucking word except,
no,
you know, good job, Steven. You did your thing. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. Like, because he still reacted. He still fired the gun, scattered everybody. Like, his physical reaction, they didn't even, like, it's war. Shit happens. People throw up. People pit. Like, your physical reaction to your body, you can't control.
I remember my first time when I was 19 in Desert Storm. We were going through Kuwait. We were like 4 hours behind the main convoy. And there were some stragglers running around at Highway to Hell. And they opened up on us. And I got behind a deuce and a half. And I went to go fire my weapon and it jammed. So I was trying to pull sports, and I was fumbling and I was shaking and scared out of my mind. I was 19 years old and I'm thinking, this is it. I'm going to die. And then my platoon sergeant's like, you need to wake the fuck up. And when he yelled at me, it just like a light bulb kicked in. And I went through the actions, got it cleared, put that forward assist forward, and just started laying rounds down range.
Yeah,
so yeah, that first time, it's pretty scary.
Well, that's what he said. He, like, you know, he came home and, like, he's got the PTSD, you know. I mean, but he deals with things well. But he's like, yo, like, I had to shoot at children because they had guns. That's just not okay. Like, there's nothing that's going to happen in the rest of my life that's going to make a couple things I had to do over there okay. Like I had to shoot at them because they had guns pointed at me. But I could look at them and they looked like they were 15, and I would never in my life in the real world do this, but I had to, you know. And I was like, you know, I'll never know that, you know. Anyone I've fought and shit, you know, in prison, they're adults, you know, like, you know, these things weigh on him, and I can see how that, you know, PTSD is real, you know. I mean, I have it from prison, you know, obviously, like in my state where I'm at, I don't know if it's like everywhere, but if you've done as much time as I have, you could file for disability, like, you know, because you can't be a functioning member of society after doing 5 years in a high security prison. You know, I have a lot of violent charges, so I was in a really high security prison, you know, for most of my time. It wasn't until right at the end that I got moved to a lower facility. So, you know, I mean, you know, we got locked down for 18 days one time because somebody got killed. Like, people died while I was there. In 18 days, they only gave us 3 showers. Imagine that.
So from the time you got locked up,
yep,
till now, as you said, it's been 15 years since you got out.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I got locked up in 2003.
All right, so when you got locked up in 2003, you got out in 2008.
Yep.
When you first got locked up, if someone would have told you that was 20 years ago, when the day that you got sentenced and you went off to prison, if someone had told you you'd be where you're at 20 years later, what would you have told them?
No. Mm-mm. No. And most specifically, the biggest reasons are probably my favorite reasons, because I have 5 kids. You couldn't have convinced me I was going to have 5 kids. Are you kidding me? I don't even like kids. I'm not supposed to be a dad. Like, that was the blind side. Like, are you kidding me? You know, and my wife, she had 3 kids when we got together. You know, 3 of my kids are actually my stepchildren, but I've been raising them for the last 11 years. So they're my kids, you know. I have 5 kids, and I don't differentiate. In my house, we don't differentiate at all. These are my kids, you know, like,
most definitely.
I would have never thought I would be the type of man who would have the I mean, strength or aptitude or whatever. I mean, to me, it's nothing, but to some people, they're like, yo, you just stepped up and took up a lady with 3 kids. I'm like, yeah,
Well,
I did, of course.
I was the same way. When me and my wife got together, she had 2 kids. I had 2 kids from a previous marriage. I actually adopted her kids,
Yeah,
which are
blended
my
family.
kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't adopt mine because their dad is still very much in their life, and I would never disrespect him. Like I respect him to the utmost. You know, he's
Well,
about
their
to get
dad
out of the
wasn't.
Air Force. Like he's not a bad guy. You know, there's no ill feelings. You know, their relationship didn't work out, and that's what it is. You know, like. But for
So,
the
yeah.
kids, like I won't. You know, I mean, I would adopt them if I, you know, like obviously, but like I would never. I've never ever tried to get in between them. I respect their dad's relationship. I do my best to help cultivate it too, you know, because that's their dad, you know, like why would I hate on that, you know?
Now, do they call you dad?
They do call me dad. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. They actually call me dad over him, you know, per se, but I don't, that's not something I've done. It's just, you know, my oldest is 17. He just turned 17. And then my stepdaughter, she just turned 13. My stepson is 12. My daughter's 12. And then my son is 8. So all my kids, you know, like I said, me and Ashley have been together for 11 years. So, you know, I met my stepdaughter when she was 1.5. Like she doesn't even remember a time before I was her dad. So I am dad, you know, but like I said, I don't ever just because they call me dad and they look at me like dad and I raise them every day. They know their dad is their actual father,
right?
You know, but they love us. I would say the same. You know, it's not a competition. Like, and we don't make it a competition. I don't try to. Like, I fully support him as their father, but I take care of them absolutely like I am their father. You know, like 100%. I fight for them, die for them, do the things for them. You know, so we don't differentiate ourselves.
So you have a good relationship with them?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, 100%. My kids are pretty much my everything, you know. Well, I take that back. I mean, my wife is my everything, but like me and her together, you know, our biggest goal is to just get our kids to 18 and to get them to be good functioning adults in society. Even if society is collapsing around us, you know, like we're on the verge of World War III, you know, but I've taught them to shoot too, so they'll be okay, you know, like
the world has gotten crazy.
It's getting rough, Jim. I know you see it. Like,
yeah,
you know, like
it's scary. It's
and you've
really
seen the
scary.
inside. You know, my dad is the one who. My dad was like, "Bro, I worked for the government for 27 years, and I don't trust them. What should I tell you?" And I was like, "Okay, let me take that to heart." You know, like because dad, like I said, dad did a lot of missions where, and he didn't tell me these things till way after he was retired. Like, my dad's he was a real quiet guy. He didn't talk about things. But after he retired, he opened up a little bit about things he did. And he said he did some missions because my dad was the guy who was like, would rappel out of the helicopter, go into the jungle, find the people who had been kidnapped by the refugees or by the guerrillas or whatever in South America, and then call in for the actual commandos to come rescue him. Like he wasn't the guy who rescued him. He was the guy who would go find him. And he told me he did several of these things in the early 90s in South America where like, you know, people on tours who had been kidnapped and shit by guerrillas. And he said, realistically, if he had died, they would have told my mom that he died in a training exercise in White Sands, New Mexico.
Yep.
And that's it. Like he told me that. And from his own mouth, he was like, listen, if I had died down there on these little low-key missions I was doing, because we weren't really technically allowed to do them or whatever, they would have just told mom I died in a training exercise, White Sands, New Mexico, because that's where everyone dies. And that would have been the end of it. And we would have got the money and the rest of the life, and that would have been it. But the whole thing would have been a lie. And like he told me that. And for him to tell me that, I was like, man, I just can't trust the government. Like I can't trust these people up here who are making these decisions for me, whether I want them or not. You know, like I just don't. Like, I don't know what the hell Biden's doing. Where's my $27 trillion we're sending to the Ukraine? You know, like I could use some food. Can I have $12 to buy a Big Mac? You know, like fuck. Like Jesus, Biden.
Yeah, it's gotten ridiculous out there.
I know, and you know me. You know, I try not to be political. You know, as much as I love Chuck, as much as I love Mises, as much as I love my buddy Adam Calhoun, As much as I love my friends who do the political shit, I have always tried to maintain, I want my music to be loved for the music and not necessarily because it's just a political view, you know. But I love them and I listen to their shit constantly and I respect that shit. And we need people to speak on it. I just never wanted to be me. I just don't.
Okay, but knowing who you are and the conversations we've had.
Of course, if someone asks me, I'll tell them.
No, I'm about to ask you this.
Okay.
I know you probably wouldn't put one out, but have you ever written one and just to see?
Yeah. So I actually I've written a lot of things that I haven't put out that, you know, not even whole songs, just like I'm a note writer. You know, I got iPhone and
Shout
I get
out to Dogpound Fresh.
I get in the notes app, you know, and I'm constantly writing lyrics and stuff that, you know, just little rhymes, whatever pops in my head. Like I'm constantly writing stuff. So I have so many political things in here and so many like. The other thing I do is I go on random rants in my house, and my wife is always like, "Yo, I should just go live while you're ranting right now." And I'm like, "No, these are the things I don't want to put on the internet. I'm only saying it to you in my house quietly, you know, because like I have strong opinions about things. I feel certain ways about things, but I've never been one to want to push, like, you know, just like Christianity. I love Jesus Christ personally because I choose to, because I believe God, and because I want to. Because I read the Bible because I wanted to, you know, not, and I don't push that shit on nobody. I don't care what you believe. I don't care.
Okay,
what
so
God
my question is this though, Knuckles.
Yeah.
So the song "Believe" that we just watched,
Yep.
right? You said that God told you to put that song out.
Yep.
Right?
Mhm.
If he gave you the same type of message, but it was a political message, would you do it? Because I know that you like are very vocal about your political views, but you don't want you to be put into your music. But if it was like pressing on your heart and constantly there,
You know,
would you do it?
You know, and you know what I hate? I hate when people say, God told me to do this. You know what I mean? Because I hate when people say that because I'm like, oh, did they? Because people have been killing people for thousands of years in the name of God.
Yeah, but here's the thing though.
And I don't know, I would though. Like I would if I really felt like God put it on my heart and was like, because like Cowboy Boots and Shorts, you know, my biggest song. I always tell everybody, I have no idea where that came from. The chorus just popped in my head one day and was just like running. And I was like, man, that's catchy. And then when I told my producer, he was like, hold on, can you just do that real quick? And then he built the beat around the chorus. Like God gave me that chorus. Like I have no idea I wasn't right. It just popped into my head, you know? So obviously because I believe in God, I believe in divine inspiration. I believe he gave me that. So if I really sat down and was like, yo, you know, this is this, whatever the political statement is, I won't even say one, but whatever it is, would I write it? Yes. Yes, I would. Would I put it out? Yes, I would, you know? But at the same time, if someone asked me about it, what could I say is, you know, I got struck with this divine inspiration and I had to put it on paper. I release everything that I record that is a song eventually. So I put it out. What the people did with it, like Oliver Anthony, do you think that man thought that shit was going to fucking go that viral?
No.
Not at all. Not at all. The people from that Radio West Virginia or whatever page that uploaded it, like that's his buddy that runs that shit. And they told him, you know, we expect you probably get a couple 100,000 views. We got a couple 100,000 followers on YouTube, you know? And he was like, man, that would be super cool. He's just a regular guy like me. Just imagine.
When he wrote that song, he literally had $1 in his bank account.
Yeah, bro. Yes,
now he's making
$1.
Now he's making $55,000 a day off of that from all streaming platforms.
That's just streaming.
Yeah,
that's just streaming. Between 40 and 55,000 a day, just streaming.
Yes.
And I love it. I love that song. That song's amazing. But think about it. He didn't expect that. He just wrote it because he was saying the shit he believed. And people are mad at it. Some people are mad at that song. Some people love it. Whatever it is. He just put it out there. He put out what he believed. He put out what he was feeling. You recorded it, put it out. If I felt something and it was political and it made me feel, you know, and people want to call me a conservative or whatever they would want to say because this is how I believe, if God led me to put it out and the words came and the music was there, I'd put it out. But I wouldn't make it my goal. Did I vote for Trump? Maybe, you know. Did I have a bunch of Trump flags in my yard? No, because I personally believe that politics are not the important thing in life. My family is, my goals, my aspirations. Like, politics are an afterthought, because realistically, very little changes in the government, even if they make new laws. Like, it's very, very little. I've been alive for 42 years. Very little things have changed that have affected my life. Oklahoma introduced medical marijuana. That's probably the biggest like law change maybe that's ever actually affected me. I got a few stimuluses from Trump and maybe like one from Obama. That might have affected me. But realistically, when laws change, does it affect you on your day-to-day basis in your life? No. And do you wish things were different? Probably. Everyone does. But do we know that what we think versus what's actually going to happen is two different things? Hell yeah. Every smart person should. You know, just it's not going to change. No matter who we vote for, no matter who gets in office, at this point, we're so strung along by this system, it ain't going to change. So why worry about it? Why waste your time, energy, and thoughts on that shit? You know, like.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You ever heard of an artist named Pawpaw Fresh?
Yeah. He's in the chat.
Yeah.
He's been you and Pawpaw Fresh have been back and forth for a long time.
That guy is super dope.
Wait, Pawpaw Fresh knows and works with maybe Vic XL too?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Vic XL's my guy too. I really like him. He's a solid guy, been working for a long time in the radio industry.
Anyway, hip hop is 50 years old this year. And he came out with,
really?
Yeah. Yep.
Fuck, I'm old. Like, that's all that tells me I'm old. If hip hop's old, but you know, like, I remember when hip hop was brand new, my mama wouldn't let me listen to rap music, you know, like, it's crazy.
He also does a lot of work with Deacon Blue. Deacon Blue is
yeah, okay.
as well.
Yep, Deacon Blue's super fire. Yep. I
would love to see you and Pawpaw Fresh do a track together.
I'm working with anyone. Like I tell everybody, you know. I told you earlier, like my only reason I have like a fee is so that people who aren't actually artists, when they message me, I'm like, hey man, this is how much it costs, and they're like, oh, I can't afford that, and I'm like, okay, good. You know, like that's the whole plan there. Like I don't want to waste my time with you. But real artists, I'm just like, hey man, cut me out on the back end and let's make this track. You know, like you know how it works.
Well, when I started doing YouTube, I got a lot of hate from people saying that it's a young man's game. I'm too old.
You still do. This. Old ass motherfucker.
Oh yeah, right. So I wrote this song called Two Old Cats. And
Two Old Cats, produced by New Breed.
Yeah. And that's why I put that song out, was for all my haters.
My playlist.
And that's one thing I like about Pawpaw Fresh, because, you know, he is an old cat. And I believe, so I got this new motto now called, the goal in life is to get old. The goal is to get old, because the older you are, the more wisdom you have.
Hell right? Yeah, and you didn't die.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I love somebody like Pawpaw Fresh, because he is someone of age. Not saying that he's old, because I'm old, but he's still showing the young cats, hey, age ain't nothing but a thing. As long as you got the fire and the mission statement to do it and the inspiration to do it, you can still do it at any age.
So, do you know who my current favorite rapper is?
Who?
It's John Broadnax.
Oh, yes, sir.
He's like, so, I mean, my favorite rapper of all time, obviously, is Eminem. I mean, I grew up, you know, in the Marshall Mathers era. I graduated from high school in 99. Like I was already a rapper when Eminem came out. So, of course, he was my role model. I actually had blonde hair when he came out, and people in my school started calling me Slim Shady and Eminem right away. So I shaved my head because I didn't want to be like I didn't want to be in that man's shadow or whatever. And then one of my buddies, because like dyeing your hair blonde was a thing in my school at that time. One of my buddies, he's not even a rapper. It has nothing to do with rap music. His nickname to this day is still Eminem. Like to this day, that's his nickname. Just a random dude from high school because he dyed his hair blonde, you know. So, but like, of course, Marshall's the GOAT. But at this point in time in my life, currently, man, I love every time John drops a new song, man. Broadnax is such a pleasure to watch, man. Old cat killing it, just doing his fucking thing. A beast. Yeah, he's got the real life shit, you know, friends with DJ Screw, like, you know, and I'm from Oklahoma, so Houston music is, you know, I got gold in my mouth. Like, come on, that's what we do. We put swangers on shit and put diamonds on our necklace. Like,
he's the same age as me.
Yeah. Yep. And that's real. Like, who's gonna tell you what age you gotta stop rapping? What the fuck is that? I'm not gonna stop. You know, and I'm over 40. Like some people, you know, 20 years ago, they would have told you nobody can rap at the age of 40. These days, country rap is full of people at the age of 40.
Yeah.
And we're all hip hop heads from 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we're rapping better than most of these dudes in the mainstream these days. You know what I mean? You want to
talk the reason is because you all are rapping about real life stuff.
Yes. And we all love hip hop. Adam Calhoun loves hip hop. Doesn't matter if he's rapping about Trump. He loves hip hop and it shows in his music. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Most definitely. Yeah, but Broadnax is fire. That's Louisiana, the Cajun pawpaw right
there. Yeah, man. Pawpaw.
No.
Man. John Broadnax, man, is super dope. I'm sure everybody knows. I don't even have to tell anybody on your stream about Broadnax, I'm sure. I forget you down in Gator Country too. Like yeah, like you know Big Poe, you know John, like you know those guys, like y'all in the area.
Yeah, they're only 3 hours from me.
Yeah. I forget you down there with them.
So when are you coming to Louisiana?
Man, you know what? My wife keeps telling me when I come down there. She wants to see a gator farm or something. And every time she mentions it, I'm like, yeah, we gotta see Triple T. Like listen, I always say that.
Look, if you want to go to a gator farm, I will take you to the nicest, cleanest one. It's humongous. It's literally an hour and a half from my house.
Man,
it's got a souvenir shop. It's got a restaurant. They got it broken down to where you can get in with the little babies all the way up to like 3 feet and hold them. And then they have a part. Yeah.
Oh,
it's broken down in stages.
Yeah. I want a big gator. Like, I ain't scared.
And then at the very end, they got this old rackety wooden like boat hooked up to this big wooden rope, and it pulled across the daggone water, and they're just throwing whole chickens over. And you see big old gators come up and get them.
While you're in the boat?
No. You're standing on the embankment.
Oh, okay.
Watching them feeding them.
I was like,
and you'll see
that's a little nerve-wracking.
You see like 30, 40 gators up on this big bank.
Yeah, just smashing at the chicken.
And then when they see that boat move, they all just dive in and they just launch up and just start grabbing these daggone.
That's crazy. Yeah. Chicken. Okay, I want to see that. Okay, so
and then you go into the restaurant. Hey, let me know. I'm serious.
Yeah, I'm dead ass serious. You know me. I ain't bullshitting. Ashley been saying we want to go see the gators in Louisiana. You ain't even that far. That's like less than 8 hours, probably. Yeah. Maybe 9. Because I'm thinking from here to Shreveport, it's like 6 or 7. Where are you at from Shreveport?
2 hours, 2.5 hours from Shreveport.
Right, exactly. So you're like 8 or 9. That's what I'm saying. You ain't even that far. Probably closer, because I might even have to swing lower through Houston to get to Shreveport. I might be able to cut through to get to you.
I'm only 2 hours from Houston.
Oh, okay. Well, Houston is 6 for me. I used to drive to Houston every other week. Like, that ain't even a big deal. Yeah, I gotta come see you this spring. We're gonna make it happen. This is November. We're gonna shoot for like March. Maybe I'll try to book a show down that way at the same time, so I can make a good evening of it. And you come up there, and we'll make a party of the weekend.
Hey, you know what?
I know your wife would love to meet me. Your wife, she keeps me up to date with everything you got going on. She is so amazing. If you don't appreciate her, you better.
Oh, I do.
I know you do.
So you know the Fort Polk, they have a 4th of July festival every year. And they have 1 year Tracy Atkins came in, they had Toby Keith come in. So they got big name artists come in. I know the lady who books them. If you're down with it,
Oh, yeah.
See if they can hook you up.
For sure. Yeah, I'll open for anyone, especially like you know me. If the time is good, like if you can give me some gas money, I'm there. You know, like I don't make a big because you know me. I just want to do music. Like that's the thing. Like I've learned how to make money off of. It's like you know, you've learned how to do YouTube and social media, and like you know, there's a little bit of money to be made. It's not you're not going to get rich, but that's not the goal. I don't want to be rich. I just want to pay the bills. Like I'm not trying to have $1 million house. I'm just trying to pay the mortgage on mine, you know, like that's it.
No, I don't want that kind of money. You get too much problems.
No, more money, more problems. You already know.
Yeah.
Joe
Most
getting
definitely.
hella money right now, man. And then like last time I talked to Eddie about it, he was like, bro, he's stressed just because like shit coming in. Like that in itself is a stress, you know, like yeah, like man, I don't want to do it. Like
then you get all those people coming out of woods, and
of course, that's what I don't want. And then you feel responsible for the people on your team. And I already have a team. I know what it's like to be a leader. I'm a leader. You know what I mean? Like I know what it's like. But the more money you get, like imagine how many people on Jelly Roll's team right now.
Oh my God.
Show. Yeah, bro, for every show. You
so
know
I was actually
feels responsible for them because he's a good man. You know what I mean? Like
I watched an interview on him the other day. He actually has 2 teams. So he has his personal team, like on his tour bus. All right. They've been with him like since day one.
Yep.
Like 10 years or more.
Yeah. Before.
And then you have everybody else. He has a manager running those people
to set up the stage and stuff.
That guy does all the hiring and firing. The only people that Jelly Roll will fire is his personal team.
Okay.
And whatever that guy says, he's like, man, we gotta let so-and-so go. He's like, it sucks that I have to see him go, but I don't get to be the bad guy. He does. You know, I'll sit down with him, party with him all night. I think he's a good guy, but he doesn't work for me. He works for that guy.
Right. At the end of the day, he's a contractor.
Yeah. And it's crazy how he explained it, but you got to set your personal emotions aside.
Well, and the bigger it is, so Oliver Anthony said that, you know, when he first blew up, like the record companies were like, hey, you get $8 million or $9 million or whatever it was right now. And he was like, man, I don't want 4 tour buses. I don't want 3 tractor trailers. I don't want that, you know? Like when Jelly pulls up to a show, bro, what is he pulling up with? It's buses. It's 18-wheelers. It's everything at this point. You know, even when I pull up to a show, I got 2 or 3 cars. I got a trailer. I got lights I'm bringing, you know, equipment. The bigger you get, the bigger it gets, you know? And it's just like that, you know? No matter what, you book a tour like Jelly did. This last tour he did was so big, man. So beautiful. Like, amazing. You know, amazing. But damn,
see, most people look from the outside and thinking it's all glamorous.
No, well, that's why I said that. Like, being a rock star is just really being in a car a bunch and then eating a bunch of shitty food. And then
they don't realize what goes on the inside of it. Once you've been on the inside, you'd be like, man, bump this.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I used to work for a rodeo company, right? And I rodeoed for 5 years. You know, I team rope and I steer wrestled. I won 7 buckles in 5 years. Like, I love rodeo. Okay, I can't go sit in the audience at a rodeo. I can't because I worked for it. I was down there. I was the one opening the chutes. I was the one roping shit. Like, I want to be a part of it. So sitting in the crowd, there's no satisfaction. Like, it is. I've gone to a couple since I quit working for them, and it's just not, the thrill's not there. You know, it's like, I'd rather be a part of it. I'd rather be in on it. Like, it's just not the same, you know?
Yeah. Papa said the travel can be rough. It can be.
Yeah, the rodeo was the same way, like traveling to do rodeos every weekend. I was just exhausted, you know, doing shows is the same way. I can't imagine on a national tour, something where you're doing 6 solid weeks, you know, you're doing 4 or 5 shows a week. You're exhausted. You go to sleep on the tour bus. You wake up, you're in a different city. You have no idea where you are. You wake up, drink some coffee, eat a couple of donuts, whatever, look around, do a meet and greet. Next thing you know, you're on stage. Oh, now you got an interview tonight on Jimmy Kimmel. Like it's, dude, it's exhausting. Like, these people don't understand. Like, being in the spotlight is tough. It's tough. People who aren't built for it aren't going to make it. You know what I mean? Like, they're not.
And God forbid if something were to happen, you know, no disrespect to Jelly Roll, but he's not in the greatest health.
Well, he's getting better though. He's been working.
He is getting better, but I'm saying for his,
yeah,
for
the
big guy.
Yeah, he's a big dude, man. Yeah, big dude.
But he's still partying like like he's 21, and
drinks a lot of
eventually,
tequila.
eventually you can catch up to him.
Yeah.
So he's got to watch out for that.
And that's the realest thing. I mean, how many artists and rock stars and shit do we know that have died from things like drugs and alcohol?
Oh yeah.
Overeating. And I mean, it's easy, and the more money you get, the easier it is,
me and my wife had a opportunity. Was it last year? I think it was last year. The group Kiss did they had their last tour where they actually went on tour, was last year, and Lafayette was the last show that they were going to do.
Okay.
And we got to go to it. For 3 hours and 15 minutes, nonstop, no breaks, they were jamming out.
Oh, yeah.
And these guys are in their 70s.
Yeah. They're exhausted.
That's insane.
Yeah, it is. Well, and people don't understand how hard it is to be on stage under the lights. Like, bro, it's hot up there. Fuck, it's hot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no matter what, it could be 20 degrees outside. You're under those lights with that smoke, jumping around, yelling into the mic. Like, it's fucking exhausting. It's hot. It's work.
Now imagine Kiss with all that.
The makeup, the shit, playing the bro, all that. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, I totally get it. Like, and then the first time I did a show, I lost my breath, and I couldn't believe I lost my breath. I was like, I'm not in bad shape. I'm not an out of shape guy, but I lost my breath. And I realized, like, I had to learn how to breathe. Like, I learned, I've learned things since then, but like, I had no idea. I didn't realize it's work.
Especially if, like, you go to a place like Colorado where it's much higher elevation.
Oh, yeah. And but the thing is, if you want to sound good, you got to work on it. You got to practice. That's why in my garage, like back here over is a door, go to my garage. I have my full stage set up in my garage. All my lights, all my sound, my speakers, my DJ booth, everything is set up in my garage right now because I practice with the same equipment that I use on stage. That way I know what I sound like. I know I know how to set it up. I can fix everything real fast. It only takes me an hour to set up and less than an hour to break down. You know what I mean? Like, and most
now, is that the exact equipment you use, or do you have a second set?
No, that's it. The equipment I practice with is what I use. I break it down. I put it in the fucking van, take it to the place, set it back up. You know what I mean? Now, really big shows, shows I do with Joe, or if I do places where they have a stage or they have their own equipment. Some places that are big venues that just want to pay me to come rap, I don't have to set shit up. But local shows, things in Oklahoma, Arkansas, a lot of clubs and mud parks and stuff like that, they'll pay me to bring my equipment and set the whole thing up and run the whole show, So I don't mind doing that because I know how to sound engineer. My stuff's already set up. It's easy. I just got to plug it in, basically. A little bit of adjustment, but like it's pretty easy, so I don't mind doing it. And I learned that, I've got like $30,000 worth of equipment. So like me investing into that, it's become its own business. I can run, I could do weddings and shit if I wanted to, people could pay me to come set up the speakers and play fucking Celine Dion if that's what you want, like, so, I mean, seriously though, like I've learned, I've done some, like I did a show, someone paid me for a private event. Their daughter was like turning 18 or some shit. And they paid me $500 to come set up. Like I came set up my equipment. I DJ'd all night, and like it was hilarious because like these little girls were like, or maybe it was like prom or something because they were little girls. And like when I first started playing music, some little girl comes up and I was like, "Hey, can we request songs?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know. I guess I need to kind of ask like the parents in charge or whatever if you guys can request songs." I was like, "What kind of song you want to hear?" And she was like, "I want to hear Hot Girl Summer." And I was like, hold on, man. I like ran over to the parents and they were like, yeah, just play whatever they want. And so like they were like, it was like 21 Savage, bro, the Megan Thee Stallion, WAP, Taco, like everything. I was like, I don't want to play any of this music. But I was getting paid, you know. So I played this shit for like 2 or 3 hours, and then I did like a 45-minute set at the end with my drummer. You know, we played some live music at the end, and it was a good time. Like the kids had a great time. Private event, you know what I mean? It was one of the best things. Like it's easy money almost, you know, like
right.
They're happy to have me there. It doesn't matter if I mess up a little bit. It doesn't matter if while I'm trying to change songs, something goes wrong and there's like 12 seconds of silence and I got to be like, oh, my bad. Hold on, guys. I got technical difficulty. They don't care. They don't care. You know, it's different than when you got 1,000 people in a venue and people are, you know, like those types of events. It's two different things, you know? So me having my own equipment allows me to do those types of things locally, which just pays the bills, you know. But I wouldn't be able to do it if I wasn't Knuckles and didn't have the online following I have and didn't have the, you know, internet cloud is a thing. Like it just is, you know. So like people want to hire me for things in real life because they see me on the internet and they go, oh, people like you on the internet. And I'm like, yeah, but the internet's whack, so fuck it. You know, like that shit shouldn't even matter.
Have you ever thought about writing a book about your time in prison?
Man, so my wife wants me to write a book about my whole life just because like I'm from Oklahoma. I'm the first big city on the other side of the Texas border. I started selling drugs for the Mexican mafia when I was like 15. Like I before I went to prison, I sold about 100 pounds of weed a month. You know, it was all brick weed. Like I've had to cut tires open to get weed out of it. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. Like that's just how I grew up. It's just normal. You know what I mean? Like that was just it. And she always tells me like that, you know, my stories of like what led me down the path and what sent me to prison and all that and how I've turned my life around. She always tells me if I wrote a book about it, it would be very inspirational, you know, because like
how much money did you have in your possession at one time? What's the most?
So just shy of 200 grand cash,
Good
but
Lord.
I owed a lot of that. I owed probably 150 grand of it, you know what I mean, to the people because I got fronted my shit. Like I would get literal boxes, big boxes, and you open the box and it would be spray foam and you have to slide the whole thing out of the box and then you break the spray foam open and it'd be a bunch of little packages, bricks of weed inside the spray foam. Like I said, I've had to cut open tires, I've had to cut open metal boxes. Like, man, I'm from Lawton, Oklahoma, man. Like, we're a drug town. That's like, we're the first city on the other side of the Texas border. Like, first big city. Like,
$200K.
Yeah. I've had Ziploc bags of money, like a lot of them. You know, 4, 5, 6 Ziploc bags that are packed with cash. You know what I mean? Because when you're selling drugs like that, man, you get 1s, you get 5s, 10s, 20s, 50s. You know, like it's not all 100s. It ain't pretty. It's cash. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I've had a lot of money before. Like, I got jacked for 96 pounds and $26,000 in cash. They put an AK in my buddy's mom's face and told us to open the safe, and he didn't say no because they had an AK in his mom's face. You know what I mean? Yeah, so like that, and because of that, like it was the first time I ever like left my town. I was worried about like my family almost even, you know, because like the people we owed money to were not people you should fuck around with and owe money to. And it wasn't necessarily us, it was the guy we were working with. He owed the actual cartel, you know, but he was fronting us and like we paid him what we could, you know, and tried to do a thing, but like shit made the news. Like the cops came, the news came, like it was a big deal. And his mom told the people that like we had just bought the house for his mom. Like we literally just put like $30,000 down on this house for his mom. And like, but we were running drugs out of his mom's house. You know, we were only like 19, 20. And when the shit happened, his mom freaked the fuck out and like literally jumped the back fence and then jumped the back fence to the neighbor's house and ran to their fucking thing and slid their door open and ran into their house and started screaming, I need to call the cops. And like, so the cops came, like it was in the newspaper. But what she told them was these dudes came in the house waving guns, looking like they were looking for someone, didn't see who they were looking for, and then left. But in reality, they didn't. They filled up the whole green army duffel bag, and we had so much weed they couldn't take all of our weed. We still had like 40 pounds after they took. It was 96 pounds they took, and they took all the cash. We had 26 grand in cash. They took everything out of the gun. We had a whole gun safe, but yeah. So his mom, because she ran over there and called the cops, like that shit made the news and everything. But because of the story she told, it was very believable. And by the time the cops got there, we took the rest of the weed and put it at a gun safe and put it in the attic. And so when they came in and interviewed everybody, like they believed everything. But in reality, what happened is at 10 a.m., they kicked in the front door. One dude had a shotgun. One dude had an AK. They put the AK on his mom in the living room. It was like, we know you got the weed, open it up. Somebody set us up, one of our friends, so it's a bad deal, so like I've been down the gamut. Like I started with a half an ounce, and when shit fell apart, like I said, we were moving 100 pounds or more a month, like I didn't join the army because I was making so much money selling drugs that I thought I could be a drug dealer for the rest of my life. Like I did the delayed entry program at 17. And then by the time I graduated high school, I didn't want to join it anymore because I was like, man, I can't give this up. I'm making like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month just selling weed, like.
Sure. Yeah, especially at 18. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, so I'm saying I was a kid. So, and that was the problem, was like I was doing a lot of drugs, I was doing cocaine, I was doing meth, I'm popping pills, I'm doing all the shit. And it wasn't until I got jacked and I didn't really have any money to blow on drugs because I'm trying to like rebuild my drug dealing shit. And I was like, oh my God, I'm a drug addict. I have a huge drug problem. Holy shit, I have a drug problem, like, but at the time I didn't know it. I was just doing everything around me. But then once I didn't have that money to blow, I'm like, oh my God, I need to change my whole lifestyle, So that was kind of the beginning of the downhill. And then, about a year later was when I went to prison, and then everything turned around. So, but yeah, for 3 or 4 years, man, like I said, I started real low, and then it didn't take me very long to move up really high because I could sell some drugs, like.
Well, if you don't do a book, would you consider doing like maybe a weekly podcast?
Well, so maybe I've done several different podcast things, just like you've started and done different things and kept moving. I would like to do a podcast where I basically interview people like myself, people who've been through it and come out the other side, and call it like the dip or something like that. And like, tell me about your low point and tell me how you came out of it. Because people love an overcomer story. That's why Jelly is so fucking popular, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's why. Like, bro came from nothing and overcame everything. Like, that's huge. Like, he's a huge influence to people. I don't know. Maybe with the way AI is now, it'd be easy for me to just talk and tell my story, So that shit might be easy and write the book that way. But as far as like me having the time to sit down and write some things at this point, I don't know. It might be beyond reach. I don't know. I need to spend more time doing music if I got that.
Look, one of the things I did when I was going through recovery, when I was laid up in the hospital, in Landstuhl, the doctor said, you got to do something to occupy your time because I couldn't walk. So I literally just got the laptop out and I just started typing. And next thing you know, I had like 800 pages of a book.
Yeah.
Called Defenders of Our Nation. I took it to a couple of publishers to try to get it published. And they said, it's a great story. We would love to publish it, but it's too in your face. You need to tone it down a little bit, because a lot of Americans won't be able to handle the truth that you're speaking in this book. I said, I can't change it because then it wouldn't be me.
Story, yeah.
Yeah. So I literally have a manuscript, like 800 pages. It's just sitting on a shelf, but it can be done. You just got to take the time to sit down and do it.
Yeah. Yeah. The time is the thing. Like, and if you're going to do something like that, you got to put your all into it,
Yeah.
So if I sat down and was like, I'm going to write my memoir, I would have to put that energy to make sure it was good and make sure it was right and make sure it was worth it. You know, like you said, 800 pages, you know, like it's a lot of effort. That's a shit ton of effort, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe when I'm older, we'll see. You know, right now, like I said, most of my energy is directed at my kids, trying to help my wife focus on her career. You know, she's just about to start her career, and I'm excited for that. My career has been going for a little bit. You know, I'm paying the bills with it and trying to get along. And if someday I blow up like Jelly, then hey, that's great. And if not, hey, then I'm still paying the bills and everything's okay. You know, like
All right. So if you could go back in time and talk to young
don't
Knuckles.
do meth, dickhead. Jesus fuck, what's wrong with you? Why would you do meth?
No,
Sorry.
I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about.
I thought you were gonna say your younger self what not
No.
to do. Like that's it. Don't do meth, man.
when you came out of prison and you started focusing on your music, what would you tell that young Knuckles? Well, what should he do better as an artist, and what shouldn't he do as an artist?
So, hey, that one time when Cowboy Boots and Shorts is going to go viral on Facebook and it's going to get 6.5 million views in 2 weeks, capture that. Learn how to ride that wave, man. Go with that. Like learn how to push on that. Make Cowboy Boots and Shorts t-shirts at that moment. Do all those things. Because I didn't know what to do, and I didn't expect to go viral accidentally, and I didn't know how to capture that wave. And if it happened right now, I'd be a millionaire tomorrow because I know how to capture it.
Right.
But I had to not capture it in order to learn. You know, you got to be in the shit before you learn how to get out of it. You know, so like that is what I would tell my younger self, and that's what I'd tell anybody out there. If just like Oliver Anthony, he didn't expect it. It happened. He's trying to capture it right now, you know, and my shit happened back in 2015, and it wasn't even like going viral wasn't even a huge thing, really. You know, it was just starting to be a thing, and I just didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know how to make a merch store with drop shipping or anything like that. Like I just didn't know what to do with all the attention I had, you know. Like all of a sudden my Facebook page had 50 million visits in a week, and I didn't know what to do with that. You know, so like, and you don't, and you just don't. If you haven't done it, you don't know what to do. You don't know that you can make a drop shipping store and try to sell a t-shirt to every one of those people. And if 1 in every 10 buys one, shit, you sold 10 million t-shirts, you know what I mean? Or whatever, 5 million. It's like, yeah, like I just didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to capitalize. I knew how to do the social media aspect. I knew how to get the views. I knew how to get it in front of people, but I didn't know how to capitalize on that on the back end to actually make profit on it and make it a career and put money in my pockets and feed my kids from it. You know, it took a long ass time to figure that out.
That's a lot of visits a week.
Oh yeah. So when my Cowboy Boots and Shorts video blew up, it was kind of, I piggybacked it off of a viral video. You know, I post memes and things like that. Well, I posted this viral video from a news clip, and it got 33 million views in like 3 days. Like my page had over 100 million reach in like 7 days. Like it was insane. So immediately on the back of that, I piggybacked and posted my music video. Like I'd already posted it before, you know, like earlier that year, but I posted it again. Well, that time it caused it to go viral. Got like, it was like 6.5 million views, like 40,000 reactions. Well, at that time it's just likes, you know, but like it was big, got me all kinds of traffic. You know, my Spotify went from like 3,000 monthly to like 20,000 monthly. Like it was big, but I didn't know how to capitalize on that. I didn't know how to turn that into a sustainable income or revenue stream, or like I said, I didn't know about merch, drop shipping. I knew nothing. You know, I was just starting. I didn't understand what a business was. I didn't understand that being an artist is more than that. You could sell merch, you could sell, you know, shows. Like I knew none of that. I just had no idea, you know. So if I could go back and change things, that's what I would change. I'd take everything I know about the music business now and give it to myself at that moment, you know, because I'd be way bigger than I am now.
Well, I think that you're going to get bigger anyway, because believe it or not, in the 2.5 years I've known you, your music has progressed, and you're getting better and better every time.
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. Like a
And
lot.
I believe the reason is because you are doing it full time, so you're more passionate about it. You know that if you don't give 100%, you know, it's do or die, and that's what's I think is going to keep you going. And look, and everybody loves an underdog, and you're an
Yeah,
underdog.
that's true. That's true. I do agree with that. And people don't believe me when I tell them I was on meth and I've been to prison and all this stuff. Like, they're like, "What, bro? You got your life together?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I didn't." And so if you don't, I relate to you. You know, like, everybody goes through shit. Like, life's not easy for anyone. You know.
Pawpaw Fresh wants to know who produces your music.
Okay, so my main producer, his name is Future, FYU-CHUR, and he's local. He's from Lawton. He's produced music for myself, Joe Budden, The Game, Kevin Gates, quite a few artists larger than myself. Like, he's extremely talented. We've been working together for about almost 9 or 10 years now, I guess. As long as I've been making music. It was about a year or two after I got started that I ran into Future, and he was just so amazing that I didn't want to record with anyone else. Like, he has a full studio, you know, he runs a studio, but his production, his engineering, his mixing, his mastering, like, everything is just amazing. He has
Is he a former artist?
No, he doesn't rap at all, really. He doesn't sing.
I thought there was an artist named Future.
There is an artist named Future, but his is Futhure.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. My guy Future has a weird spelling on his name. And his thing is actually Future Recording Studios. Like, that's his actual, like, you know, if you look it up, Future Recording Studios. But he's absolutely ridiculous. Like, there's nothing I can say. He's produced every, you know, I'd say 4 out of 5 songs of mine. You know, I've got like 60 or 70 on iTunes. Like, he produced them, and he engineered most of my songs. I either record here, like this right behind me. If I open that up, that's a closet that I have all foamed out. It's a music recording booth. So I record a lot of my vocals at home, but then I take everything over to him. I use Studio One, which is what he uses for his software. And so I can literally take the whole session that I record here and just move it, put it on a flash drive, take it to his house, and he pops it up into his shit, and he can mix and master it. So it's real easy. And like I said, we were working together for so long that I'll come out of the booth and be like, "Hey, man, will you put that kind of effect in?" And he's like, already putting it on there. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, never mind. You knew what I wanted." You know, like, he just knows. Like, he's helped me develop my sound. Like, I tell a lot of people, Macklemore, he's dope. But Ryan Lewis is the reason he blew up, because the album that blew him up was Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. And Ryan Lewis made all the production on shit like Thrift Shop and all that. Like, and the reason those songs are so big, it's not Macklemore's bars. It's the beats. It's the songs. It's the duality of it. You know what I mean? It takes more than just some bars to make a song. And I'm humble enough to admit that. Like, an artist needs a producer. He needs an engineer. He needs someone to put some beats on it, unless he does it himself, you know.
Okay. All right. So now I'm going to put you in the hot seat.
All right, let's do it.
So I'm going to ask you 30 questions.
Okay, 30.
Whatever comes to your mind.
All right, I'm going to answer
first thing and answer it.
Right,
what's your favorite snack?
My favorite snack is donuts.
Favorite chip?
My favorite chip is sour cream and onion.
Favorite soda?
Dr. Pepper.
Favorite fast food restaurant?
Man, you fucked me up on that one. Man, I want to say like 5, man. Oh, fuck, man. Sonic.
Favorite ice cream?
I like Rocky Road.
Favorite beer?
Yingling.
Favorite hard liquor?
Pendleton whiskey.
Favorite rap song of all time? Come on, hot seat.
God. God, really? I don't know. Something by Eminem. I don't know. That something. God, fuck. Really? Favorite rap
Real
song?
Slim Shady, but
No, I don't know. It's probably something not well known. Oh no, wait. Let's do "Till I Collapse" by Eminem. That's it. That's the one.
okay.
Yeah.
Favorite country song of all time.
It's "Still Make Cheyenne" by George Strait.
Favorite mainstream artist
Right now,
or whenever.
well, I mean, Eminem's kind of mainstream, so
Yeah, he is.
I mean,
Okay.
I guess so.
Favorite independent artist.
Adam Calhoun.
All right. Favorite. What would be your favorite collaboration? Whether it's you with somebody or mainstream with independent, independent with mainstream, or whoever.
Okay, so this is one's weird, but my favorite collaboration is Twista and Drag On. It's on the Rough Riders Volume 1 album, and it's called Twisted Heat. And they do the first two verses in a speed, and then they speed the beat up to do the second two verses. It's extremely dope. If you like Twisted and you like fast rap, it's really dope.
All right. Favorite TV show presently.
911.
Favorite TV show of all time.
South Park.
Okay. Favorite comedy movie of all time.
Ace Ventura.
Favorite horror movie of all time.
Oh Jesus. The Human Centipede.
That's a good one.
Only certain people will know.
That's look, when they
That
made
shit,
that one,
no movie's
they
ever
went
grossed me out
out
like that
there.
movie, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
that's out there.
I ordered that shit from Canada because it wasn't allowed in the United States at that time. I ordered the DVD because I read about it on the internet.
And that
shit-
never happened to me. I want to be the first one. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh my god, that movie really put my brain in a bad way. So yeah,
Oh
that's
my
horror.
God. Favorite action movie of all time.
Conan the Barbarian.
It's a good one. All right, favorite sneaker. Athletic shoe.
So I like Air Force Ones.
All right, favorite team of college football.
OU Sooners, baby.
Favorite college basketball.
It's the same. OU Sooners.
Favorite pro football team.
It's Dallas Cowboys.
All right, folks, y'all have a good night. Dallas Cowboys, really?
I'm from Oklahoma. We don't have a fucking team.
Man, you could've picked the Houston Texans or something.
I mean, I like the Texans, but okay. So listen, do you know what my favorite team used to be? The Houston Oilers, but they don't fucking exist anymore. So I'm a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, Houston Oilers are Tennessee
The Texans.
Titans.
I know, but I don't like the Texans.
They're Tennessee Titans.
Well, I know, but I like the Titans. I like the Houston Oilers. I had a Warren Moon jersey. You know, like I liked Warren Moon. I like the Houston Oilers. Like when they stopped, I didn't know what to do. My dad was a Cowboys fan, so I started just supporting the Cowboys, and that was 20 years ago. So I'm still here. So sadly, I'm a Cowboys fan. You know,
favorite pro basketball team.
It's the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Favorite athlete of all time.
It's Ronnie Coleman.
Okay. Favorite hobbies.
I like to fish.
Favorite weapon of choice.
A Glock 9mm.
Favorite president.
John F. Kennedy.
Favorite book to read to kids.
Green Eggs and Ham.
Favorite thing to do with the family.
Go on a hike.
And for all the ladies out there, they want to know, are you a boxer's, brief, or commando?
I'm boxer briefs.
All right. So there you go, folks. Now you know a little bit personal about Knuckles.
30 questions. Those are good questions.
That's the hot seat questions. So what do you have planned for? Are you touring any rest of this year or?
Well, so I've just started booking shows for the rest of the year, but after February, so like right now, I told you my whole goal is to get my wife to the bar. That's
Right.
it. Like that. Like the bar is huge. Like if there's one test in life that is huge, it's the bar. Like that thing is ridiculous. Like she's read me questions. Like I've looked at her study stuff. Like it's crazy. You know, it's a 2-day test. Like literally, like it's huge. You know, so like, 365 days in a year, 2 whole days for a test. That's big, man. So my goal is to help her as much as I can until we get there, and then come March, April, May, I want to start booking. I'd love to go back out on the road and do 6 weeks. Like I'd love to get back out. Let me tour with some of my guys, Outlaw Nation, Overtime. Like somebody, let me get it, Justin. I'm trying to get back out there.
All right. So you're putting thing on pause until the spring.
Yep. Family's the most important thing. You know that. So like I can put my career on hold for a couple of months to support her career. Like that's what families do. That's what partnerships are about.
All right. And where can people find you on social media?
Oh, I'm at Knuckles Rap anywhere. KNUCKLESRAP. Can't miss me. I'm on every platform.
And your merch store?
Just message me at Knuckles Rap anywhere. I package all my own stuff. I sell hats, t-shirts, stickers, CDs, blah blah blah. All you just message me. I handle everything myself.
And do you, Miss Ashley, still do your Thursday show?
No, but tomorrow morning so I do coffee with Knuckles in the mornings. I just drink a cup of coffee and talk to my people. Tomorrow morning she's gonna do it with me because she was like, hey, I want to start doing that with you on the weekends. And I was like, cool. But we are about to start a podcast. Actually, I want her to do 2 with me. So she wants to do one about sex education. And I want to do one called Both Sides of the Law, where we basically break down traffic stops, like watch like a cops video where someone gets pulled over. And she gives the legal aspect of it, and I give the aspect of it of what it feels like to be that guy getting pulled over. You know what I mean? Like we're giving both sides of the equation. Like I want to do that, but she doesn't think that will be popular, so she keeps arguing with me about it. But the other one, the sex podcast one, we're gonna do like sex education stuff. So we're supposed to start those soon.
Okay. And what is it going to be on your Facebook, YouTube, or both?
Yeah. Well, I'll upload them through the actual. I think what was the name? It was something. Sprout is the company I used to upload podcasts last time I did one, and it'll put it out on all channels. So it'll be on iTunes podcast, Spotify podcast, all the podcast stuff, and then I'll upload it, to YouTube or wherever it's not actually at. Also Facebook and stuff too.
Okay. And if anybody would like to get a feature with you, how do they get in touch with you?
You message me anywhere. Find me on social media at Knuckles Rap. If you Google Knuckles Rapper, you can find me. Like I'm there, or Knuckles Oklahoma, or Knuckles Cowboy Boots and Shorts, or if you just Google the word Knuckles, unfortunately that won't find me because Knuckles is other stuff.
That is true. It is very hard to find him unless you put Knuckles Raps.
Yes, it is. That's why all my stuff is at Knuckles Rap. Or yeah, if you put Knuckles Country Rapper is probably the best way to find me, honestly, because that brings up all my stuff. Because it's kind of specific, but learn how to use Google, guys. Look for what you're looking for.
And Knuckles Rap, that's all one word, correct?
At Knuckles Rap, all one word. Yep.
Let me see. Pull up your actual website.
Vance, if you're still watching, I'm taking another shot for you, buddy. Thanks for donating all the stars you donated earlier. I appreciate all my people. I love you guys so much. Couldn't do it without y'all. And this is electric orange sipping cream. Ah, man, it's fantastic. It's almost too good. I could have it for breakfast.
All right, so here's Knuckles'
It's like 30%
YouTube
off.
page.
Hey, there it is. And
here's what his page looks like. You'll know when you see it with the knuckles with the bullet holes in it.
Hey, there's me.
With the little country dude as a symbol.
Yeah, why you gotta call out the fact that I didn't have a cowboy hat on? Like you're making me self-conscious, Tim. Next time you see me.
No, what I'm saying, because that's how I'm so used to
I know, it's my thing. I know, but like
and that cartoon, I'm thinking, okay, the other guy did look like Catfish Cooley.
He did look like Catfish Cooley, but I didn't have a cowboy hat, so I didn't.
But that didn't look like you.
You're not wrong either. Like I'm not disagreeing with you. You just made me self-conscious about it. Like I got a beanie on now. I'm like, man, should I?
No, what I'm saying is, okay.
Out here, like.
So do you see where my mouse is on? You get your logo.
Yeah, absolutely.
He should have made the character. He can still made the character look like Shaggy, but made it look like
with a cowboy hat. Yeah, I don't disagree. He just told me that was his thing after he sent me the thing. He was like, "Man, why don't you look like Shaggy?" And I was like, "Okay, I look like Shaggy. I'm not mad at it. You know, like I let it go." But I get it. You know, the cowboy hat is kind of my thing. That's my
and
that's
look.
my thing.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, this is one of my favorite songs by you. When I did a reaction to this song, I said, "Man, it looks like Just in Time."
Yeah, you did say that. Yeah, that's one of my most popular songs. A lot of people really like that song. It's one of my more like hardcore rapping. Like I'm really rapping hard. I say a few. You know, I say something about white people being guests in hip hop. That's actually one of the songs where I make a little political statement. I just don't agree with that, man. Like you don't get to tell me I can't rap because I'm white. Like I just, you know.
And it is bar heavy too.
It is very bar heavy. I made it that way on purpose for that reason. Like you don't get to tell me I can't rap. I can rap.
All right, so here we go. We got Beast by Knuckles.
All right, let's do it.
You know, people act like hip hop is a fucking zoo. Shit, I've been in a zoo. I mean, inside the zoo.
Don't watch me, better watch your mouth. Don't judge me, cause I'm from the South. I'm not a racist and I'm not a guest. Bitch, hip hop is my fucking house. I'm home here, kick my boots off. You fuck boys don't wanna shoot off, cause Knuckles know to tear the roof off. You ready? Here comes the proof. What? Like abracadabra, it's absolute magical. Beats I go Hannibal, eat like a cannibal, speed like a cannonball, beating down castle walls, feast during famine, all beast I'm an animal. Where's the pressure? I do fine. Truth will tell in due time. I work hard, I do grind. I'm spit polished, shoe shine.
You know, people act like Knuckles is a fucking joke. Do I look like a clown to you? Am I fucking juggling up here? Are you not entertained?
Don't watch me, better watch your mouth. Don't judge me, cause I'm from the South. Bitch, hip hop is my fucking house. Bitch, hip hop is my fucking house. A labor of love, I was raised here. Earned my stripes to stay here. Killed anything I came near. The reason we don't play here. Yeah, and I run with wolves. Get stomped out if you run with bulls. Make smart moves, don't run with fools. So I may make you uncomfortable. I feel wonderful. What you wanna do? I can make dark skies from a sunny view. I can bring 45s to 22 and say your family crying all in front of pews. Not the first time I've been on the news. Wanna walk a mile? Put on my shoes. Like I said before, I done paid my dues, so it's life or death, and you can choose.
You know, people act like they're fucking invincible. Walking around like immortals. Like they can't be seen or touched. That breath you're breathing might not be your last, but it might.
Labor of love, I was raised here. Killed anything I came near. Like I said before, I done paid my dues, so it's life or death, and you can choose. Before you come talking all that noise, better make sure you have all the facts, boy. My first tape was the Fat Boys. Roll with convicts, not frat boys. Only white boy in the prison cycle. Didn't matter, I would get it hyper. Get spitting fire in a pit of vipers. Shit, you not better get a diaper. Cause you piss yourself, wet your britches. 5 years behind them fences. I'm not a killer, but I'm not defenseless. God as my witness, I'll knock you senseless. I don't walk the yard and I don't march the trenches. I'm not a dog, so I don't fuck with bitches. You can write it down or even take some pictures at Knuckles Rap if you have any questions. Don't watch me, better watch your mouth. Don't judge me. Don't judge me, cause I'm from the South. Bitch, hip hop is my fucking house. Bitch, hip hop
You know, I just realized something.
What's that?
You actually promoted your music in that song by saying if you got any questions, you can write the Knuckles rap.
Yeah. I made
That
that
was
like
dope.
a
I just
threat
realized
and a
that.
promotion at the same time. Yeah.
That is
At Knuckles Rap,
badass.
if you have any questions. Yeah. You know, marketing all day. It never stops. You know?
That was cold. I don't know why I didn't catch that before.
You got to listen to stuff a couple times, you know?
Oh, I listened to that song quite a few times.
I know, but like that's the thing. Like I listen to things, even in like Eminem. Like sometimes I listen to him, like, oh, damn, that's what that meant. You know, like you don't catch everything the first time you run through something.
Man, that's true. Papa Fresh said that was fire.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Pop Off Fresh. Appreciate you hanging out with us, everybody. It's been a long night, and you've been here.
I love his saying. So he's known for going, oh no.
Oh no, that's that South right there.
There's an artist called Little Payday. I don't know if you heard of him or not.
A little payday I have.
So his very first song that he put out was produced by Papa Fresh, and it's called Oh No.
Okay.
I think
I think if you posted that,
yeah, I
I
did a
think I've
reaction
seen
to
it.
it.
Yeah, I think I've seen it. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. What's my latest release? Someone said on my page. So my latest release is called Trailer Park Stomp, and it's me and FJ Outlaw. And it's a really good song. So you guys can check that out. Trailer Park Stomp. If you guys like FJ Outlaw.
Oh, FJ he's a beast.
Yeah, man, that's my Bubba. Like me and him are really cool. And like him and his wife and my wife are good friends too. Like he's a really good dude, you know. He's one of those people that like his stage presence versus what he is in real life. Like he's a real humble dude in real life. But then when he hits the stage, like he's big, he's larger than life, you know, like so yeah, he's a really good dude.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about my journey through this whole YouTube stuff. I got to meet a lot of artists through YouTube and develop friendships over the years with them. And it's crazy that if somebody would have told me 4 years ago that I'd be doing this, I'd be like, you're nuts.
Sure.
But I love it every second of it. It's got its ups and downs, but it's got more ups and downs, and I wouldn't change it for the world. Because I got to meet people like you and New Breed and Jesse Howard, the whole Outlaw Nation crew, and Mises and Justin Time and Bravo Gator.
That's how I feel. Like I get to meet these people that I'm fans of, you know, and they treat me like an equal, you know, and like sometimes, man, like it's crazy. I've done shows before and I'm singing a song and I look over and I see someone that I look up to and they're singing my song and I'm like, how do you know my song? Like, that's weird, you know, like that shouldn't be, you know, like that's not what I expect, you know? So I totally get it. Like, it's humbling, you know, like
it is.
You get to meet people that you look up to because of what you're doing, you know, and they're like, yo, I appreciate what you're doing. And you're like, really? Really? You appreciate what I'm doing? Like, that's weird, you know, like it's weird. It might just be me. It always feels weird. I'm not good with being famous or people liking me, or I'm used to just hate and stuff, you know. Like, I'm used to hate. Just hate on me. I'm good with that.
So me and my wife was out at dinner with my grandson probably about 4 weeks ago, and there was a couple sitting behind us, a younger couple, and I got up to go pay the bill, and he said something to his wife. He said, yo, I think that's Triple T. And my wife turned around. She said, what did you just say? She goes, I think that was Triple T. She goes, it is him. She goes, how do you know about him? She goes, oh, I watch his channel all the time. And that just blew my mind because I'm like, what? It's definitely
you got
humbling.
people out there paying attention.
Yeah.
It's humbling. It's weird. Yeah, it's crazy. Like 100%. Like that's the best word. Like it's crazy. Like I whenever someone tells me like, yo, listen to this song and you know, my dad passed away and your song means like there's no words that can express that. Like that feeling is unique, you know. To know that you impacted somebody else's life, it's priceless, you know. It just is.
You know, it's like 6 months, well, no, a little bit, probably about a year ago. I was in Walmart, and for some reason, I left my piece in the truck. And when I got into Walmart, these two guys were following me around, and I'm thinking, shit, I left my shit in the truck. I feel like these guys are about to jump me. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna approach them. I'm like, yo, what's up? What y'all trying to do? And the guy goes, say that again. I said, say what again? He said, just keep talking. I'm like, what the hell y'all want? He's like, I told you it was him. It's him. I'm like, who? They said, can you say, that's your ass, Mr. Postman? So I repeated it. He said, it is Triple T. And I'm like,
That's your
oh,
ass,
shit.
Mr. Postman.
And then he says, I want my $10 because he bet him $10.
That's hilarious.
And I was like, that is too funny.
Yeah,
So,
man, it's crazy. You know,
it
like
is.
you don't understand the impact you have. Like I when people tell me shit, like I'm just every time I'm blown away. Like every single time, someone's like, "Yo, I was listening to you. I've been listening to you since this," or "I was listening to you to get through this," or I'm just like, really, like me? I'm like, I'm nobody, man. Like nothing, man. Like you want to listen to my music? My music's not good. Like, come on, like. You know, it's just so humbling. Like I don't think it'll change. Like it's been 10 years and it ain't changed. Like that shit is still humbling, you know?
You know, like you don't hear I tell my story sometimes. People will reach out to me and say, you know, I relate to it or it's helped me.
Yeah.
If I can touch one person, that's all it takes.
That's
it's worth it.
100%. Yeah. Big
Just
fact.
like
I agree with that.
Just like Brenda's son. You know, what you said to her, it touched her, and
yeah, one person.
She did exactly what you said, and her son kicked the habit. So, congratulations for that.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that I get put in a place where I have opportunities to do things like that. You know, that my words can make an impact. Like, I don't know.
Have you ever thought about? Somebody said you should go on American Idol. Have you ever thought about that?
No, I can't fucking sing, and they don't do rap. Jesus. We need like. Remember when VH1 had that like show that was like all the white rappers? I don't remember what it was called. It was like a reality show. It might have just been called White Rapper or some shit like that. But it was on VH1. I remember. I could do something like that, but I could never do American Idol. I can't sing.
You know, Hitman tried out for American Idol.
Oh, Hitman was on American Idol.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like,
and they thought Jesse Howard was his dad.
Did they think Jesse Howard was his dad?
Yeah, they actually came out and said, "We need you to sign your son's permission slip," and he's like,
"So fucking funny! I didn't know that." That's
hilarious. Because you know, Hitman's got that baby face.
Oh, he does. He does.
And Jesse's
married to his cousin or whatever too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Jesse's big as a house, and they actually thought that was his son.
That's hilarious.
So when they're at events, they'll go, "Come here, Dad. Okay, son. What do you want?" It's funny when they do it.
That's really funny. I didn't know that. Yeah.
You should ask him one time. He'll tell you. When he told me that story, I was like, "No way. You're bullshitting." He's like, "No, for real."
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Well, Knuckles, look, man, I appreciate you coming and chopping up with me tonight.
Absolutely, man. I've missed you. I'm sad I haven't got to hang out with you in a while. So I appreciate you having me on. And
anytime you want to do something like this, just hit me up. I'm down for it. Anytime.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I appreciate everything you do for not just me, but everyone in my lane. You know, you push all of our music and you do that on your own. You know, you put that on your shoulders and we appreciate it. I know you know.
Well, if you got any new projects coming out or anything you need me to promote, I'll be more than happy to do it. You know, you're like family over here.
Absolutely.
And, I'm gonna hold you to next spring.
Okay.
Come down.
Okay. I'm gonna tell my wife. We'll
All
make
right.
it happen, man. We haven't been to Louisiana for a vacation or anything, so we've got to come.
If you don't, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna do a live stream. And decided to say, I'm calling Knuckles out.
Just a Knuckles because he didn't come to Louisiana. Yeah, man. Hey, I like being called out. Yeah, hold me to my word. My word and my balls are all I got. You know what I mean?
That's it.
Keep it real.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
folks. I
right.
greatly appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Y'all go
Yeah.
check out my guy Knuckles. If you haven't subbed up to him, y'all get your head out the sand.
At
I'm telling
Knuckles
you.
Rap anywhere.
He is gonna look. When I tell you this, in 5 years, he's gonna be way bigger than what he is, and you ain't never gonna be able to get in touch with him then, because he's gonna be a very, very busy man.
I appreciate
That's a fact.
I thank you.
All right, y'all know the deal. Stay strong, stay safe, stay blessed. We'll see you on the next one. Y'all have a blessed one. Have a good night.